What's up with y'all, man? Travis is annoyed right now. The setup for this is taking. He told me I gotta get more organized, but I think I'm pretty organized already.
Nigga, you ain't organized.
I think I'm already.
I'm organized.
But yeah, man, this is episode 18. We almost at 20. That's gonna be a benchmark to get to 20 episodes. This might be a long episode here. I don't know. We'll see.
It's been a long week.
Oh yeah, definitely for you. You want to talk about
Get out of corporate. Do not become salary. If you are a salary, they will work you to death.
Yeah.
I literally had to threaten to quit to get a day off today. Been hell.
Yeah. Told y'all they had him in a dungeon for a couple of days there. You got people that trying to get their unemployment, doing every trick in the book to get it. And it's rotten because you know when you do that, you put other people in compromised positions.
But people don't care. It's
Boy.
a dog eat dog world. And I can't be mad at you. In the words of Tupac. I ain't mad at you, but
pandemic.
I never respect you.
The pandemic has definitely revealed even more of who people are and how selfish people are. But anyway, let's go ahead and start with the episode. We're going to go ahead and start with something. Riley, this damn dog. I swear to God. But keep it going. Versus. Now, Travis, because he's so above all of everybody else, he didn't watch the verses.
I couldn't watch the verses because
he was busy.
Nigga, I ain't been home.
Verses happened. We got to see the Dipset versus the Locks. I enjoyed it, even though I'm a Southern dude. I have to admit, I think NY had the best one so far. Although I think 90% of that was because of the crowd.
It definitely wasn't the crowd. The crowd was a big influence of probably how you and other people viewed it. For me, Little John and T-Pain was a
I think musically, entertainment-wise, I think Little John and T-Pain was the best because their personalities and the music itself.
The music itself was
and
a big thing.
And theirs was probably one of the cleaner ones. They just kind of went boom, 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 back and forth. I do wish they would take some of those earlier verses and redo them now that it's in front of a crowd and
Ludacris and Nelly definitely Teddy Riley and Babyface.
Yeah. So, but I'm gonna say this just off the energy of Jadakiss. Let's be real. Of Jadakiss, this is probably the most energetic verse. Verses have completely changed forever now. They can't go back to the old style of just play your song, play my song. From now on, it's a performance. We're past you just getting on stage, play your song, and then I play my song. You can't do that no more. Now you got to get up there. You have to go to rehearsal. You have to pretty much do entire sets that you did back in the day. Like SWV, was it?
Yeah, SWV.
They did a little bit of it.
They did their sets.
Even though it wasn't in front of the best crowd once again. So I think we're at the stage now. Versus ain't going nowhere.
And they are from New York.
They are. Versus isn't going anywhere because Jadakiss, after the verses, he was so great. 5 of his albums were in the top 200 in streaming.
Wow.
His streaming went up like 150, 200%.
That's crazy.
When you get on verses, your numbers go up extremely. That's why you saw Trina was trying so hard to get on verses.
She got on verses too.
She got on there. She was trying to get on there for months because she knew when you get on there, it's like a concert. It's gonna be a bigger audience than most people will ever be able to get.
They're getting that revenue, and
yeah.
To be quite honest, they need the money because they haven't been able to tour for like a year and a half.
Exactly. So I think on one hand, I'm just looking at it for what it is. It's actually a great thing for artists. They can get on stage and perform in front of a crowd, even though the crowd is actually bigger than the people in the room. They're in front of millions, not a couple 100,000. Most of these people would never be able to sell out a show for 100,000, 200,000 people, but they can do it on verses. Their numbers will increase. They'll make a lot of money. So it's good for them. I'm still disappointed that they sold it to Triller, but maybe Triller is the reason why this one was the way it was. I don't know. If they don't sell to Triller, do you think the Locks and Dipset are able to perform in the Garden in front of all those people?
Definitely not.
So you think it's Triller that allowed?
This was at Madison Square Garden?
It was at the Garden. The Garden. That's why it's a big deal. I don't know how many people they let in there.
How in the world were they able to get that? They let you know that Madison Square Garden has they must need something too for them to let them perform.
This is a big event. It's a big deal. Now,
for New York.
There was a boxing match, I think the same night. That's why they had a time restraint, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know. The Madison Square Garden is constantly getting sold. So everybody want to be host their event at the Madison Square Garden. But I think Triller, I got to be honest, maybe because of the money they got, they're able to do certain
the connections
things,
they have.
or the connections. So as much as we complain about them selling it, I don't know if I can say, is it where it is right now because they sold it, or would it have gotten there anyway?
Well, if your Jay-Z's and Will Smiths can buy into the housing market, they could have invested into Triller. Invested into Switch Beats and Timberland and made it something like this. If
we would love
the
that.
black men would unite with one another and do something like that instead of going to white people and letting them, and then it turns into the white savior. Yeah. They save versus is, you kind of putting it and elevated it to where it is now, where it's in front of crowds.
I'm not saying they did. I'm saying, I'm asking the question, did they?
Well, they are elevated if it's not in front of crowds.
Well, I don't think that,
and that crowd was an authentic crowd. Well, what you saying?
Yeah, I think the crowd is there because of, we know now,
the artist.
No, the crowd is there now because we know now that everybody in that room were vaccinated. You had to show vaccine identification cards or passports in order to get in. And as far as I saw a guy on YouTube that I watched battle rap, what's his name? Something Fly. I forgot his name. He was there and he told the event, he said you had to show your card. If you didn't show your card, it was strict. You're not getting in.
Which just bring us into mandates.
Yes, we now know that New York is the first state to require proof of vaccination for indoor dining in gyms.
Well, here in Seattle, you have to, in some restaurants that are selected to do it, because it's not federal really now or state. It's up to the businesses now to decide how they want to do this. So some restaurants in downtown Seattle, they require for you to be vaccinated to be able to eat indoors. So your business can say, just imagine if a grocery store like a Safeway said, in order to shop here,
you got to be vaccinated.
You got to be vaccinated.
Well, I don't think they can go that far. Right now, they can only deal with employees. Yeah. We saw last week they came out and said that government workers have to get vaccinated or have to be tested stringently, and that's once a week. And so that's your male, women, and men. That's your garbage man. That's your police. By the way, a lot of police, your metro drivers, a lot of the police are kind of iffy on it too. Yeah. So now, starting this week, they're starting to convince. Let's be honest, it's not really the government doing this. Businesses are starting to put rules in where anybody who worked for them has to be vaccinated.
Well, yeah, my boss, she came to me trying to pick my brain. You know how they do. Yeah. She's like, oh, and she said, oh yeah, I meant to tell you this. Up in Yakima, my whole staff had COVID-19 and everybody was out. And she was just like, it's getting so bad to the point where now the company is saying that we probably need to have everyone vaccinated because, if one person gets it and they spread it to everybody else, that means we lose a whole team. And God, I just can't lose you. If you were out of this kitchen, if you were out, I think we would just close. And I was just like, I'm not getting no vaccine. I don't feel comfortable taking no vaccine. She said, I know we haven't, pressured it or not pursuing it as of yet, but I was just, trying to see. I was like, you trying to pick my brain to see if you can convince me to take a vaccine. And damn well I told you, if you make it mandatory here.
No. Once again, to anybody who's out there, if you're listening, you work.
This is my preference for me.
No, I'm making the point. If you work for a company and they try and make you take it, all you have to do is draft up a letter saying, if I do not want to take it, but if I take it and suffer any injuries or death,
you are held liable.
You will be held liable and your company will be sued. That's all you got to do. And most of them going to back up. That's all you can do right now, or quit, obviously,
or try to pursue the whole. It goes against my religion based on the things that they put into the vaccine.
Yeah. So that's that. So, like I said, now they're going. You got businesses trying to convince people to get vaccinated. or now small businesses are also doing it too. And I wonder, will that start to affect customers? Because what if customers, we found out now that vaccinated people, it is possible for them to shed the virus. So if you're a customer and you know the entire staff of this business is vaccinated, do you really want to go in there? Isn't it dangerous at this point?
Yeah, it's dangerous.
At this point, they kind of preparing for it. They don't want to do it. Like we're going towards a lockdown.
People been saying, I don't think they said they're not going to do a lockdown. I done say this in 3 videos. I don't know what it is about the month of September. For me, it's just building up. This is kind of, there's shortages to get food out. Yeah. Drivers don't want to drive supply chain. I think a lot of people don't want to drive for these food companies is because, let's think about it. It's been 1.5 years. We were shut down for 1.5 years almost. They went from having 20 to 21 food stops to like 8 or 9 or 10. And let's face it, people gotten lazy. People don't want that stress on their bodies no more. They feel like they should be paid more. It's like the people who continue to work are exhausted, and the people who stop working are now lazy. They don't want to have to do that anymore. And the ones who have been doing it for 1.5 years are so exhausted, they just want to quit. Yeah. They like, fuck it. I've been doing this for 1.5 years. Now I want to sit back and collect my unemployment.
Let's be honest. The workforce are trying to get raises.
Yes, the
across
workforce.
The board, people are trying to get raises. Unions are starting to look at this. We saw the teachers pissing people off. The parents, pissing people off.
Even with the school, just about all the school district are only between 70-80% have bus drivers. They need to be at 100%.
Yeah.
So some parents don't have to
drive the kids to school.
They're gonna let you know you gotta take your kids to school. If you live at this radius, you gotta walk them to school.
And then we know that schools are about to open, but how that's gonna go. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and just play the video of de Blasio speaking on the mandatory vaccines.
This is crucial because we know that this will encourage a lot more vaccination. We've seen it already. We've seen the impact of the mandate we've put in place for city workers already starting to move people to vaccination. We've obviously seen the positive impact of incentive as well. The goal here is to convince everyone that this is the time. If we're going to stop the Delta variant, the time is now. And that means getting vaccinated right now.
And look at the things that they chose to make vaccinated. That's your gym, your indoor dining, and what performances by people.
The article is here.
So those are all things that they deemed as what? Non-essential, things that you don't need. So for you to enjoy these luxuries or be able to participate or interact with other people, you have to be vaccinated in order to do these things.
You see here's the article, New York Times. New York City to require proof of vaccination for indoor dining and gyms. Mayor Bill de Blasio said that the tough restrictions were necessary to encourage New Yorkers to get vaccinated and curtail the third wave of coronavirus. Now, you see here, New York City will become the first U.S. city to require proof of vaccination for a variety of activities for workers and customers, indoor dining, gyms, and movie theaters. Man, the movie theaters one got, but they've been beating the hell out of AMC.
And the movie theater should have said, I ain't doing this shit.
But a move intended to put pressure on people to get vaccinated, Mayor Bill de Blasio announced on Tuesday. The restrictions similar to mandates issued in France and Italy last month represent the most aggressive. Now, Italy and France they was out there in the street marching against this mandate.
They weren't showing that.
They were not showing it. Well, we saw that the yellow jackets were in the street for almost 2 years and they didn't even talk about that.
With damn guillotines.
Yeah, boy, France. But we know France, even though that's not their history, France is known for
rebellion
and stuff. It's not their history.
Government.
Yeah. But the restrictions similar to France and Italy from last month represent the most aggressive response to lagging vaccination rates in the United States. The vaccinations have been lagging since what, April? Around April, it started to plateau. They started seeing the numbers kind of become stagnant.
Yeah.
Before that, it was skyrocketing. People was going to go get them.
And they knew that. That's why I don't know why Biden was like he was going to open up July 4th when he knew that he was not going to meet his goal. He knew he was going to meet the deadline.
It got to around 45%, and it just
plundered.
It ain't plundered. It hasn't been going down. It hasn't been going up. It's
been staying steady.
It's been staying steady. They say allegedly about 500,000 people a day and all this other stuff. I don't know. The restrictions, I already read that. Mr. said he hoped that other cities would implement similar measures. This is a miraculous place, literally full of workers. Mr. Bill de Blasio, if you are vaccinated, all this is going to open up for you. But if you're unvaccinated, unfortunately, you will not be able to participate in many things.
So extroverts out there.
Ooh. Well, let's be honest. New York is 60%, 66% vaccinated. So they almost at 70, 80%.
I know y'all don't like being by yourself. You draw energy from other people. But you gotta make a decision. What's more important? You going out and being around other people, or you trying to keep yourself safe? Because I'm an introvert. I am an introvert, but I know how to, when I go out into the world, I know how to, transition myself into, being able to speak and engage with people.
What's the next thing we want to speak about with this?
So the Fauci.
Oh,
Dr. Fauci.
Yeah. See, this is what we meant by me not being organized. But Fauci made a point. Dr. Anthony Fauci is warning that fully vaccinated people are also susceptible to long COVID. What the hell is that? If they have a breakthrough infection. We already know that people who get a breakthrough infections and don't go on to get advanced disease requiring hospitalization, they too are susceptible to long COVID. Fauci told McClatchy, you're not exempt from long COVID if you get breakthrough infections. Now, what is long COVID?
Did he go into description of what long COVID was?
As the Delta variant surges, Fauci said, there could be a variant that's lingering out there that can push aside Delta. If another one comes along that is equally high capability of transmitting, but also is much more severe, then we could really be in trouble. Now, okay, we know that they're naming this after the Greek alphabet, right?
I said that. Like,
now, what's the next one? Labamba?
Alpha, Delta. I think it's.
No, there's another one coming out right now called Labamba.
That is a.
I think it's called the Labamba variant. I'm not sure.
Is that the one coming from Colombia?
I think it's Colombia. I'm not sure. No,
yeah, remember they said Colombia has a variant that's coming out now too.
Yeah, the Colombia variant is in Florida right now. There's been cases in Florida. The Colombia variant, I don't know if that's the same one as the Labamba variant. I don't know how to say it. Let me try to find it right quick. But you got all these.
I think after. Well, no, Delta isn't after Alpha.
I'm not saying it's in order.
Labamba. Yeah, that is one of the Greek alphabets. Yep. It's like they're skipping 2 or 3. It's actually Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta.
Here it goes. COVID variant, Washington State Department of Health. Okay, a Labamba variant, unusual mutations puzzle scientists. Yeah, it's called Labamba.
Why are they naming the variants after Greek alphabets?
I don't know. But that's the new one that they're saying is out here. So
I mean, they are going in kind of in order. They're just skipping a couple. This is just getting stranger and stranger.
What was the next one? So we talked about I don't know
so
what
the Boston mayor, she conveyed.
Yeah. Now long COVID, I don't know what that is.
That's like that. That almost reminds me of like all these movies they keep showing when people are turning into zombies.
I wonder, is long COVID, because you're vaccinated and you don't show as many symptoms, does that mean to stay in your body longer?
It stays in your body longer, and you have to wonder how much damage it's doing to your body.
Well, my point is, if you are vaccinated and you are infected with Delta or whatever, and you get long COVID, it doesn't mean because you're not as sick or severe, it lasts longer though. So it's lower symptoms, but it lasts longer. Is that what it is?
Possibly. I just wish they would have went into, specified or gave details to what is long COVID.
Well, yeah, we saw also, as you brought up, he wants more people to be supportive of the mandates. But we saw the Boston mayor is a black woman. She came out against it, and she made the point that she believes she compared it to slavery and birtherism. And birtherism is the thing about that happened with Obama. But I'm gonna show the video here when it load up of her making the comparison. She got a lot of backlash from, I'm guessing she's a Democrat. She got a lot of backlash for Sanders. Let me just show you what she had to say. All right, this is her right here. Let's see what she had to say.
There's a long history in this country of people needing to show their papers, whether we're talking about this from the standpoint of during slavery, post-slavery, as recent as, what an immigrant population has to go through here. We heard Trump with the birth certificate nonsense.
I can't play that music. I forgot. Sorry, Eric. Got to pause that. Now, you see here, it said Mayor Kim Janey argued that such a mandate could disproportionately impact BIPOC.
They get that shit out of here.
Black, indigenous, people of color communities, to which City Councilor Andrea Campbell tweeted. Now, what did I say in our last video? I said, if you mandate vaccines, if you mandate vaccine passports to be shown, or vaccine identification cards, whatever, vaccine cards to be shown, wouldn't that cause criminalization of people who don't have it? Because right now it's just employees and do you want to get in this business? But at some point it's going to go further. So what happens when a black dude walking down the street in Philly and the police officer stops him and says, hey, do you have your vaccine card? And he goes, man, I'm on my way somewhere. Leave me alone. The same thing as walking up to me asking me for my ID. What do you want from me? I'm just on my way somewhere. I'm just, there's something that happened. I'm checking you out. No, I ain't do nothing. Now he on video getting harassed by the cops.
I find it funny because they're making, they're talking about voter rights.
And that's the next thing we're going to show what she had to say right here. So after this, her tweet about to come up right quick. Hold on. This is her tweet. When we are combating a deadly virus and vaccine hesitancy, this kind of rhetoric is dangerous. Showing proof of vaccination is not slavery or birtherism. We are too close to give ground to COVID. Science is science. It's pretty simple. Vax up and mask up.
Now, I'm tired of them talking about the science.
Listen, science is not science, by the way. Science is constantly meant to be challenged. You're not supposed to just listen to science. You're supposed to challenge it every single moment. Constantly challenge science. But anyway, now, for the last couple months, we've been seeing these politicians outside call themselves protesting voter rights restrictions that allegedly the Republicans are levying on right now, how they're attacking voter rights. Mm-hmm. And one of the things they say is you can't force people to show identification cards. Black people they can't get ID cards. This is just racism. This is Jim Crow.
Which is crazy. You should have to show an identification card when you go vote.
That's my point.
That's common sense. So
right now the expectation is, as a black person, I'm not supposed to be responsible enough to have an ID to go vote, but I am supposed to be responsible enough to get this vaccine and make sure I have my vaccine card on me.
No.
What?
The Democratic Party ain't shit. They turn on their own inside the Democratic Party. Look how they just did Nina Turner.
Nina Turner. Well, it wasn't really them. They never really supported her because, if
she's a progressive.
Yeah, if you're a Bernie person, you burnt. They pretty much burned.
They was never gonna let her get in office.
Yeah, and it's funny how they made sure to put a black woman against it.
But yeah, this is a Democratic Party. It got them, and I don't know how the conservatives just don't rip their ass. Fox News. This should have been like,
they did.
Look at this.
I'm pretty sure, but the Republicans are stupid.
They're so stupid.
They just as dumb. It's like Both parties are just it's just
Like,
dumb people throwing they just throw shit at each other.
The Democratic Party, they contradict themselves all the time.
All the time, and somehow they keep beating these people. How
Come on,
bad?
vax up and mask up, man.
Remember when what's his name, Juvenile released that vax that thing up remix?
Just an ignorant Negro.
And you just go,
He ignorant.
Lord have mercy. So obviously he's requiring proof. You got certain people that's against it. You got people that was actually out protesting this mandate across the country, actually saying, no, you can't allow this. You had unions saying they don't want to allow mandates. You can't mandate me to do something.
You know, unions for employees are some of the best things that happen because they definitely help employers out. So
hold on. I want to say this right quick too. There is this article here. It says unvaccinated people need to bear the burden.
damn, they trying to ring us out. Damn.
Look, man, they on people who not vaccinated. They on your head, homie. So they released this article where they went through the necessity, and this is going to affect us, the necessity to limit people who are not vaccinated. And one of the things they want is to not allow you to fly. They want you to be on a no-fly list.
Or why not just create a flight for people who are unvaccinated that don't want to be
that's
vaccinated?
The thing. They want you. What did they say a few months ago? Unvaccinated people need to feel uncomfortable. They need to make your life hard. Now, if you listen here, this is the article. Beyond limiting the coronavirus flow from hotspots to the rest of the country, allowing only vaccinated people on domestic flights will change minds too.
No, it won't, because there's Skype. I mean, there's FaceTime, and no, it won't.
The number of COVID-19 cases keeps growing, even though remarkably safe, effective vaccines are widely available, at least to adults. Many public agencies are responding by reimposing mask rules on everyone. But at this stage of the pandemic, tougher universal restrictions are not the solution to continual viral spread. While flying, vaccinated people should no longer carry the burden of unvaccinated people. The White House has rejected a nationwide vaccine mandate, a sweeping suggestion that the Biden administration could not easily enact even if it wanted to. But a no-fly list for unvaccinated adults is an obvious step that the federal government should take. It will help limit the risk of transmission at destinations where unvaccinated people travel, and by setting norms that restrict certain privileges to vaccinated people, will also help raise the stagnant vaccination rates that are keeping both the economy and society from fully recovering.
So they're trying to turn unvaccinated people into second class citizens.
Like,
yeah.
What are we talking about now? You're not saying that.
Well, black people, we second class citizens anyway. Ain't nothing new to us.
So what she's saying is, if you're not vaccinated, it's no longer a right for you to be able to fly and move comfortably throughout the country.
And everything they do goes against the Constitution.
You're no longer a citizen. I'm not allowed. Literally, the country says that we have the right to move comfortably throughout the country. That's why it's called the United States. United States. Because each state has its own local government. But I'm allowed to travel between those governments. You're now saying I don't.
How can you say this when it's been proven and shown that even the vaccinated
people can catch COVID? They can catch the Delta variant, allegedly. Flying is not a right. And the case for restricting it to vaccinated people is straightforward. The federal government is the sole entity that can regulate the terms and conditions of airline safety. And although air filtration systems and mask requirements make transmission of the coronavirus unlikely during any given passenger's flight. Now listen to this. They're saying we don't want people who are unvaccinated to fly. Oh, but they still have to put the bullshit up that, but masks can help. We're not saying masks don't work, but we just don't want you on the plane because it hurts everybody else. But the mask work. So why shouldn't I be on the plane?
As long as I got my mask on.
I'm good, right?
So you contradict yourself.
Talking out the side of her mouth. It's a woman that wrote this. The whole point of the international travel bans is to curb infections in the destination country. To protect itself, the United States still has many such restrictions in place. Beyond limiting the virus flow from hotspots to the rest of the country, allowing only vaccinated people to domestic flights would change. Oh, I read that. Polls suggest that vaccine holdouts have a variety of motivations. Obviously, she went through this whole bullshit trying to defend the idea of forcing people to get vaccinated if they want to fly and see their family.
But you can drive to see your family.
Hell, but what she also saying is you can't fly if you're going somewhere for work as well. There's some people who travel for work, so they're saying you can't do that if you're not vaccinated.
It don't make no sense to restrict it to flights when you can just simply get in your car and still travel to the same place.
Yeah. But with all this shit going on and people saying, oh, we need to be careful. We need small groups. We can't have too many people
congregating. That sounds like slavery.
Can't have too many people.
That's what they do to you on YouTube.
Yeah, you're not allowed to talk to people. When you remember back in the day, if you was on the corner with 3 black men, they consider you a damn
a terrorist.
A terrorist. What are you niggas doing?
What are you niggas doing?
You niggas talking? Get the hell out of here. Standing at the edge of the highways.
Talking that niggerish shit.
But somebody said, fuck them damn restrictions. And that person is Obama. Obama said
he get to have a birthday bash during the pandemic.
So remember back around November, December in California, the governor told people to not have more than 10 people in their house, and if you do, y'all need to wear masks and all this.
That was
shit.
Governor Newsom.
And it's like, you telling me what to do in my house? He telling
you you can't have your mother over for Thanksgiving.
You tell me I gotta tell my grandma put a mask on.
You mean to tell me I can't get my mac and cheese and
I gotta put my mask down to eat and then put it back up?
There's special dishes that people make to bring to Thanksgiving.
Man, I can't smell man, you tripping. But here's the thing. This is what's stupid. Restaurants had a controlled amount of people that can go in, right? And you had to wear a mask. Mm-hmm. So I go into this business with a mask on, but when I sit down, I can take it off. What's the point of me wearing the mask? So when I sit down, I can't get COVID. But when I'm standing up, I can get it. So I sit down, I eat without my mask, and then I put a mask back on.
They're saying that you're passing past people in order to get to your table, and it's not social distancing.
I'm sitting next to people at the damn tables.
But it's supposed to be nobody's sitting, but it's supposed to be spread out throughout the restaurant. It's supposed to be 6 feet from
that's stupid.
Each other. We know that it's stupid.
I've seen stories and seen videos of people trying to walk into a restaurant or a store, and they're like, you need to put your mask on. Like, I'm about to sit down right there. Like, point to the spot. I'm about to sit down right there. Put your mask on.
I've seen them have up those shields, and the shield just go right there above their head.
Right there above their head.
My breath, I could blow my breath.
I can turn into a terrorist real quick. Just blow up in the air. Set everybody on fire. But Obama's having a bash at Martha's Vineyard. Isn't it? I'm gonna
talk about it. John Legend and Chrissy Teigen. I'm so fucking tired of them talking about those two.
Witches.
Chrissy Teigen is a man. I'm putting it out there.
That's a man.
That's a man, baby.
That's a man. What's that dude name?
She was never pregnant.
Wait. What's that dude's name? Channel? We stealing his shit. He's a man. Bomb man.
Bomb something.
Bam man.
He used to be on YouTube.
It's a dude on YouTube who used to say
Savage Robot too.
Savage Robot.
He be going in on their asses too.
What's that word he be using? Lucy.
The goat Lucy.
Goat Lucy. But yeah, I think that's a man as well. So stars descend on Martha's Vineyard Friday ahead of former President Obama's 60th birthday party after his spokeswoman claimed the Saturday bash would be scaled back to include only family and close friends.
That's a lie.
Celebrity couples such as John Legend and Chrissy Teigen.
Chrissy Teigen.
Teigen? That's it?
It's Teigen. They talk about her fucking ass all the time. It's Chrissy Teigen.
Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union.
Oh, the booty eaters.
Yeah, pretty much.
They eat ass.
I remember when she said that, and niggas started posting pictures. There was a picture of Dwayne Wade dunking, and he laying on the ground with his ass in the air. It was a big sweat spot.
What's Magic Johnson's son name? He eat ass too. Somebody said he was talking to a breast smell like straight asshole shit. It was an article something of you. Somebody said that.
I forgot
shit.
who said that. I remember when 50 Cent said Beyonce breast stink.
Listen, everybody Obama has invited to his birthday bash. I'm sure all their breasts smell like ass.
Teigen, who has recently come under fire for past bullet, I don't care about that. Actor Don Cheadle was also caught making his arrival wearing a fedora.
Don Cheadle, damn, Don Cheadle too. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, aerial photographs of the former first family's sprawling 29-acre property showed a massive tent flanked by smaller staging tents, outdoor furniture, and dance floor, and a large raised stage with speakers and the technical equipment. Other megastars, including Jay-Z and Beyonce, Stephen Colbert, and Oprah Winfrey, were also on the island. According to the pictures of report in the Daily Mail, John Kerry, President Biden's climate czar, was also in attendance, according to the report.
This is what they're doing. They're talking about how they're gonna kill off more people.
Oh, we gonna get to that too.
The baby blood.
We'll get to that.
Listen, they ain't been able to get shit popping a long time. I feel so sorry for the people they have taken and about to do these damn rituals on.
Yeah,
I think the Most High, they didn't catch my black ass.
Oh no, they don't want you too old.
I'm too old.
You can't be.
They like babies.
Yeah.
It's going down on that
The party
island.
is initially set to feature 475 guests and 200 workers, but an Obama spokeswoman on Wednesday said that the party will be rolled back after an outbreak of the Delta variant nearby Cape Cod. So what they're saying is we got caught. So we're going to say we're going to scale it back, but it's going to be the same people.
It's going to be more.
The media not going to cover this no more.
It's more than what they're actually saying it is.
Obama's decision followed a report by The Post, which cited a source saying that the former president was creating a public health nightmare by trying to get nearly 700 people to his party amid a national surge in the variant and nudist restrictions. Among the big wigs that didn't make the final cut were David, I don't know who that is, Larry David, David Letterman, and Conan O'Brien. The Roots drummer Questlove was set to perform it. Look at Questlove.
He made it in talking about DaBaby.
Hey, good job, good job. Questlove was set to perform and coordinate a vegetarian menu.
This the niggas meeting.
According to Bloomberg, but a rumor that Pearl Jam was also set to rock the party was unsubstantiated. Even as Eddie Vedder, I don't know who that is, one local businessman joked at the mall that the Democrats had a loose definition of close friends. Exactly, because ain't none of these people close. Well, I don't know. Hold on, we don't know how close they are.
They close.
They close.
This is a orgy. Y'all don't understand what's about to go down. Obama like we going out. This is gonna be a bang.
We about to have a bang out here, baby. But
Obama said this is my 60th.
I made it
the big 60th.
But I also want to show something. There was a woman that described. Oh, no. You know what? We're gonna go ahead and go to the man himself. He had comments because we see people want to have concerts and go out and have fun. What was the next thing we're gonna talk about?
Larry Sinclair.
Now, Larry Sinclair, if y'all don't know who that is,
that's Obama's.
So I wonder,
sweet thing,
why didn't he get invited?
Why didn't the people he was fucking around Chicago get invited?
Why didn't Obama invite his boo thing? Let's see what his boo. Obama's, if y'all don't know, there's a man named Larry Sinclair. That's it with 3 men, 2 black men.
He killed the niggas.
The niggas got killed. And his mother said it was covered up, but we already covered that. And his last name is D'Souza. I have a video. The very first video I made and put on YouTube. I made it private. I never made it live. But I talked about the D'Souza family from
West Africa.
They're in West Africa,
Brazil,
but they're from Brazil. How they're a slave. Man, bro, I can go so deep. D'Souza was a slave trader, Brazilian, mulatto. His father was Spanish or Portugal. And
you can look at him and tell that he has Negro admixture.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hit the button, show you. But the D'Souza family, he was a slave trader from Brazil. His father was a Portuguese man. I don't know what his mother was, but it said he was mulatto. He moved to West Africa, became the biggest slave trader for the Dahomey Kingdom and all that stuff. And they have a shrine of him to this day. So this is why I get mad when I hear these. And we can go into this later with ADOS. I get mad when I hear these people from West Africa say they don't know nothing about slavery. And it's like, what?
They know.
I'm going to start saying names. I'm going to say D'Souza. I'm going to see how many of them they are.
We should be more upset. We should be upset with the Pan-Africanness because they give them a pass.
They know it too. But anyway, let's just see what Larry Sinclair had to say about what happened between him and Obama.
A limo driver that I was looking for someone to enjoy the night with. The introduction was made through the limo driver.
And what happened?
We had a few drinks. I had made some comments about wanting Coke, so we got in the limo and left, and we started drinking. I started snorting. He started smoking. I actually put my hand on his knee and started to rub up his thigh, and I performed oral sex on Barack Obama. The following day, I actually get a knock on my hotel room door in Gurnee, Illinois, only to find Barack Obama standing in front of it. He had actually come back for seconds.
I'm not going to say nothing.
He said
he came back from seconds.
he came back for seconds. I
told you, everybody Barack Obama around with breath smell like Dookie.
Oh, come on.
Dookie and ass.
I performed oral sex on him in the hotel room at the Comfort Inn and Suites in Gurnee, Illinois.
Were there drugs involved in the second night as well?
There was.
Who produced those?
He actually brought those with him.
Now, Obama at that time was a state senator.
I actually had no idea who he was.
And then when did you find out that it was Barack Obama?
Watching the 2004 DNC convention.
Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you.
Ooh. Man, oh man. I'm not even gonna show the rest of that.
It was already too graphic.
Yeah, he got graphic quick. But so I wonder why Obama didn't invite him.
Obama said that was just a little knockoff to get me through.
Yeah, they're trying to put these. So while Obama having his bash, ignoring the alleged dangers and all that stuff, they trying to push mandates on people and all this other stuff. But someone else, this is where it's going to go to the conversation of people who only care about selfish people. Because they say if you're not vaccinated, you're selfish. You're the selfish person.
Which don't make no sense.
I'm going to show a video of Slim Thug's comments on people who don't get vaccinated. When I saw this, I was so mad. I was hot.
Was he mainly talking about black people or people
he
in
never
general?
said it, but it's clear.
But you got the vibe of who he was talking about based on the language he was using.
He never said it, but you know who he was talking to. When I show y'all, if you don't get angry at the stuff he said here, like, he deleted it.
Of course
like
he deleted
the hoe
it.
that he is. He deleted it.
Hoe?
He a hoe. If you gonna delete it, stand on it.
Is he a hoe or hoe?
He a hoe. All right, we ain't gonna listen to what the man had to say about people who didn't want to get the vaccine.
This is crucial.
Take the vaccine, but too dumb to wear your mask. You stupid fucks. Now y'all fucking up the population. Got the shit back bad, cause your dumb ass believes somebody trying to hurt your broke ass with a vaccine. Nobody give a fuck about your broke ass, nigga. Nobody trying to kill you broke motherfuckers. Why the fuck somebody trying to kill you broke motherfuckers? What is y'all doing on earth? Well, nigga is trying to kill y'all. You motherfuckers ain't doing shit. Why nigga is aiming to kill you? You dumb motherfucker. Take the vaccine, you stupid fuck. Y'all fucking up the population. If these shows get canceled and I start losing money, I swear, motherfuckers. Hey. If I start losing this show money because you ugly, stupid motherfuckers don't want to wear y'all masks and don't want to take the vaccine, you better pick one, you stupid fuck. Don't let me catch you ugly motherfuckers in the streets without no mask on, talking about you ain't got that, you don't believe in the vaccine.
He's so, you know what? This
hold on. We were just laughing.
But I was laughing at the beginning, but towards the end, got serious.
That's what I'm saying. When he started going into
the money,
why you shouldn't care about them trying to kill you. This is why when you don't know shit, you should shut the fuck up. If you listen to him, all the stuff that we know is real, people like him would tell you it's not. And he says all of this because at the end of the day, all he cares about is his shows.
His shows. That's the part that got me upset when he started talking about if my damn show what you gonna do if your show get?
Ain't gonna do nothing.
What the fuck you gonna do if your show get canceled? What are you gonna do? You gonna go whoop every one of the who you gonna go beat?
Boy,
that is a selfish individual who cares about sheep going to his concerts, listening to him just so he can make some money. You actually care more about yourself than you care about your own people, because you wouldn't be encouraging them to go out and get this. You let them make their own decision on what they want to do instead of trying to bullying them into doing something. He need his ass whooped. That's what he need. Texas, y'all to be. He from Texas, right?
Yeah.
Texas, y'all need to. Whoever's in Texas around him, y'all need to whoop his ass. It's he's so selfish. It's ridiculous how selfish he is.
I don't know why they got see this picture here. I don't know why they got Boosie. Boosie took the vaccine because he said he want to do his shows, but I didn't see him.
He took the vaccine because he wanted to do his shows.
Yeah, no, he said he wanted to have his party and all that stuff.
Then he sold out too.
But I don't know if he demonized people for not getting it.
I can't take nothing Boosie safe because he just chose to get a vaccine. So once again, so he can make money. You can't respect nobody that just does this because they want to be included in the world instead of like you actually doing research and seeing that this stuff is, you know.
See, look, Slim Thug.
Can't respect him.
Slim Thug checks in the mail. Jab for something with a 99.99% survival rate. Not even worth the time and energy. We as a group just need to understand it and divide from the weak. Survival instinct isn't strong in many of us. So, yeah, it's...
Like, this is not even... This is just a tip of what's coming, and y'all already caving in and giving in. What you gonna do?
What you gonna do when the real stuff
When
comes?
the real shit hit?
But
what are you gonna do?
But he said something stupid when he said, ain't nobody trying to kill your broke ass. And
Yo, broke ugly asses. If I see your ugly ass.
Well, the ugly part, that's just him talking shit.
Who you calling ugly?
But and I'm not even, it's not about him saying you broke. No, it's him thinking that no one wants, the overpopulation has been talked about. Overpopulation is not real. If you've ever been on a plane, look out the window and what do you see?
Nothing but land.
Empty. You know how much land nobody is living on in this country? And you can fit the entire world's population in one country. It's more than enough land for people. We're not even close to overpopulating the planet. There's places on this planet nobody ever been. What did they talk anyway? But for him to say that nobody trying to kill you, even though...
And hold on, before we leave, how you gonna say people are broke? Clearly you about to be broke because you need people to go out and go see your whack ass concert. That's some fucked up shit. You call me broke, but you clearly need money to keep your ass from being broke. These celebrities are something else,
and that's
boy.
what I'm about to get to.
They a trip.
They've been taught. It started at the beginning of the pandemic when they started showing their houses and stuff. Like, stay home. People was like, you staying in a mansion. Of course you would stay home.
You got a movie theater, a bowling alley, a tennis court, a basketball court.
You don't need to go nowhere.
Hell, you got enough land to do a whole damn football team behind you.
They talking, but look at this. For him to say no one is trying to kill your broke ass.
Boy, need a fire slapped out of his ass.
Look at this. Now this is back in 2009. Top billionaires hold secret meeting. Now, this first article, they're not going to go into the gravy, but we're going to get to it. Bill Gates, David Rockefeller Sr., Oprah Winfrey, and other leading philanthropists meet in secret New York this month to discuss ways to promote efforts to solve growing social problems. In a quiet meeting closed to the news media and the public, Bill Gates, David Rockefeller, Oprah Winfrey, and other leading philanthropists met in New York to discuss ways to promote efforts to solve growing social problems in America and abroad. The unusual event was held May 5th at Rockefeller University and was organized by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. We know now they're divorced, and Bill Gates been had the Epstein. What I tell you? I said that was a business move. The reason why Bill Gates divorced Melinda is because that Epstein thing ain't going nowhere. It sullied them, even though the stuff he's been doing to those African people should have been sullied him, but nobody cares about that.
Nobody cares about them.
So because the Epstein thing happened, he now has to separate himself from the foundation and all the other stuff. Don't be surprised if they don't rename it the Melinda Gates Foundation or Melinda Foundation or something. But among the high-profile participants was Ted Turner, Warren Buffett, George Soros, and New York City Mayor Michael R. Bloomberg, all of those philanthropists who have appeared at one time in the Chronicles ranking America's most generous donors. So this article is trying to bolster them and make them seem like nice people.
They ain't shit.
Now, the original article came from Irish Central, but I'm going to read it from the Times, which is the London Times. What they really came to do, reject all, buddy. What they really came to do, America's richest people meet to discuss ways of tackling a disastrous environmental, social, and environmental threat. Some of America's leading billionaires have met secretly to consider how their wealth could be used to slow the growth of the world's population.
Which comes through.
And speed up improvements in health and education. The philanthropists who attended the summit convened on the initiative of Bill Gates, the Microsoft co-founder, discussed joining forces to overcome political and religious obstacles. Now, what's the religious and political obstacles? Oh, we have to tell people it's okay to have Planned Parenthood is good. Huh?
Should we go ahead and talk about abortion now?
I guess we will. Now, that's a good point. So when they say political, they mean that. And when they say religious, it's obvious. Who's going to be okay with you saying that people need to die?
Nobody would be okay with it.
No one's going to say it's a good thing. Yeah, I agree. People need to.
Because they realize if I say it's okay for you to start knocking people off, I may be one of the people that get knocked off.
Exactly.
So, safe
so
self-preservation,
self-preservation in itself going to stop me from agreeing with you. Described in a good club by one insider that included David Rockefeller Jr., the patriarch of America's wealthiest dynasty, Warren Buffett and the George Soros, the financiers, Michael Bloomberg and Mayor of New York, and the media moguls Ted Turner and Oprah Winfrey. Now, they came there to discuss what they want to talk about. Bill Gates is the one who convinced them overpopulation is what we need to work on. And they all agreed, and they allegedly been working their way towards that, dealing with overpopulation.
And we know what they've been doing for the past year and a half.
I mean, look what, hell, I'm pretty sure something that helped them, since we're going to bring up Cuomo next. Look what happened with the old folks.
Seniors. Them poor
nursing
seniors.
homes. And then the DOJ came out and said we're not going to go further investigation.
They said we're not going to investigate it. And that's how you know the people of America is asleep, because that should have been, everybody should have been like, no, he needs to be held accountable for what he did to those elderly people.
Let me show y'all something.
But they just want that woman things to go away. So he'll take that.
Yeah, they want the old folks thing to go. No, they're using the
women's
thing to get rid of that. We're gonna talk about that next. But watch this right here. This is a woman who discussed, when we talk about the nursing home deaths or the people who died from COVID, you talk about how they came to the conclusion that the person died from the virus. And this is what the woman had to say.
In terms of the definition of people dying of COVID. So the case definition is very simplistic. It means at the time of death, it was a COVID positive diagnosis. So that means that if you were in hospice and had already been given, a few weeks to live, and then you also were found to have COVID, that would be counted as a COVID death. It means that technically, even if you died of a clear alternate cause, but you had COVID at the same time, it's still listed as a COVID death. So everyone who's listed as a COVID death doesn't mean that was the cause of the death, but they had COVID at the time of death. I hope that's helpful.
Now, this Negro went and grabbed something to eat, so he didn't hear most of that. But what she's saying is, some of the people who their cause of passing away was checked as because of the virus. Some of them were already on hospice. They're already going to pass away.
Hospice means you about to die.
They were already on hospice, and then they just said, well, they really passed away because they were already about to go. Let's just say they also, so that's how we're not even going to go into that. You know what
Gotta
we mean?
Leave it alone.
You know what we mean and why we bring that up.
Too hot.
Too hot for the hot tub. But since we talked about them not wanting to kill us, as the great
Prince
Slim,
Philip,
the great Slim Thug just said, ain't nobody trying to kill our broke ass. According to them, they're just experimenting. But Prince Philip, Prince Philip quote about reincarnating as a deadly virus to solve overpopulation resurfaces. Now, I'm pretty sure most people don't heard this. A little while ago, I think this was back decades ago, maybe not even that long ago. I'm sorry, not decades, but a while ago, he had an interview where he was asked about what the most troubling thing he has about society going forward, and he said overpopulation. And she said, "Well, how do you expect to deal with that?"
How that's fucking bothering you? How that's affecting him? He's a fucking prince.
He's not no damn prince. He's a usurper. He's a fraud. But he said overpopulation, and so they said, okay. And the woman asked him, "How do you expect to deal with that?" And she was like, "Well, are you talking about Planned Parenthood and all that other?" He's like, "No." He said he would like, if he could be reincarnated when he died, he would like to come back as a deadly virus and take out a certain percentage of the population.
Well, maybe he Delta.
That's what, and people were saying Look, when did he pass away?
He passed away like a couple months ago.
Just saying.
They should have just named it Prince Philip.
I'm surprised they didn't. Now, if you look here, he actually wrote a book. He has a book where he talks about overpopulation. He has a book about this. But, you know, anybody trying to kill you. Let me show y'all this right here as well. Anybody trying to kill your broke ass. All right. So what about this? Now, they say, you obviously see Alex Jones was right. U.S. government funded projects harvest organs from babies for medical research, document shows. Now, this is RT, and you talk about RT, they immediately, it's controlled by Russia. Yeah, but that don't mean they don't say real shit.
Oh, Lord, now we're going to be Russian.
We're Russian bots.
No, we're Russian.
What do they call it?
Apologists or something.
Like, they'll say something. So when you read this, the U.S. funded a project that collects parts from babies. Some of them are apparently alive moments before their organs are harvested. New documents show, prompting claims that conspiracy theories have been vindicated. The Department of Health and Human Services has awarded at least $2.7 million to the University of Pittsburgh program that sought to create tissue hub sourced from aborted fetuses ranging from 6 to 42 weeks gestation. Details about the program. I want to get to one part. Its plan to harvest and distribute quality tissue and cells also included racial quotas. It had to reach a certain number. The university application said that it wanted 50% of its aborted subjects to be minority fetuses. You what I just wanted? They seek.
Not needed.
So if they need a certain percentage, then who they gonna promote it to more?
The minorities.
Exactly. And when you look at the number of how many children in our community has been
missing.
No, not missing.
Oh, aborted?
Didn't make it out.
Oh.
Like, how is that the biggest story? They literally, we've seen, I'm pretty sure most people have seen the videos of them showing what they do and what happens and all the crazy shit they do. Look what this just said. They want 50% to be minority. But you know, they ain't trying to kill your broke ass.
You know what? After him summed up making that comment, every person that went and bought his tickets should have backed out and no longer wanted his tickets no more. Biden.
I mean Cuomo. So now we got to get to Cuomo. Since we were talking about verses in New York and stuff. So Cuomo, we know he's been on the fire for the last 5-6 months. It popped off on him.
He went from doing better than our commander in chief.
Oh, he was
President Donald Trump to now
he from Greece. He was America's governor, as they called him. He was America's governor.
And Trump just left like So how does it feel?
This man got an Emmy while he took old people. This is not alleged. He did. He took old sick people and put them in nursing homes with not sick old people. Now, I'm not a scientist, and they always say, "Well, we didn't know the virus was how transmissible it was." But I think I'm not a scientist. But I think I'm not a doctor. But I know I'm not going to take a sick old person and put them in a room with an old person who's not sick.
Well, I know 1 + 1 = 2.
It's like this seems obvious. And then when the people would say, "This person died in a nursing home," he came out and said, "No, they didn't. They died in the hospital. Don't put this in my nursing homes." And you know, I'm gonna say this: you do know that hospitals, they were getting paid some money for dealing with people. I'm just saying, there was some bread coming back. I'm gonna say it like that. There was some money there.
There was some coins, some bags that had to be got.
I'm just saying it like that. There was some money to be made there. But Cuomo, as everybody already know, probably has
His name should be Cuomo.
Cuomo urged to resign after Pro finds he harassed 11 women. Now these women, I think he's gone. He's gone.
I wonder if his brother covered any of these topics.
His brother, guess when he brought his brother up. You know, they say that his brother actually helped him. He actually helped try to cover it up. And also, there was a person that works for Facebook that used to be on his staff that helped cover it up.
We are shocked.
There were women who came out and they leaked stuff about them. These are the women that said he did. Now, let me say this, because I got to be balanced here. They're accusing him of inappropriate kisses on the cheeks and stuff.
Like our president and commander now, yeah. Mr. Joe Biden.
We'll get to that. They accuse him of some inappropriate kisses on the cheeks, inappropriate touches on their waist, their belly, their neck. You know, he
was just, seeing what size their waist was and
they risk
and checking their pulses on
collarbone check.
Collarbone check.
So, they didn't like. Obviously, you shouldn't be touching nobody.
No, you shouldn't be touching nobody.
Let me say that you shouldn't be touching them
unless you're invited to touch somebody.
Exactly.
And then sometimes it may not be good to touch somebody.
Oh yeah. But they are on him for, they say, inappropriate touching and such. Let me go ahead and show you the video of Letitia James, the Attorney General, if I'm not mistaken, of New York. Yeah. Attorney General or DA? I think Attorney General. We'll see.
Somebody correct us in the comments.
I think she's the Attorney General of New York. She's the one that's been going after him for the last 5 months. 5-month long investigation, all these files on him, and
She don't want that spot, do she?
I don't think it's for her.
Okay.
We're gonna get into who we think it's for.
In terms of the definition of people dying of COVID. So the case definition is...
The Independence investigation found that Governor Cuomo sexually harassed multiple women, many of whom were young women, by engaging in unwanted groping, kisses, hugging, and by making inappropriate comments. Further, the governor and his senior team took actions to retaliate against at least one former employee for coming forward with her story, her truth. The investigators found that Governor Cuomo's actions and those of the executive chamber violated multiple state and federal laws, as well as the executive chamber's own written policies. This investigation has revealed conduct that corrodes the very fabric and character of our state government and shines light on injustice that can be present at the highest levels of government. But none of this would have been illuminated if not for the heroic women who came forward. And I am inspired by all the brave women who came forward. But more importantly, I believe them.
She practiced that in the mirror.
No, she was looking down at that paper while she was doing it. But
no, that the heroic, and I believe them.
So yeah, the women they showed in the other article were just a woman who came out and their face is out there. There's aides that work for him. That's, when I say aides, AID.
AIDS.
Yeah, helpers. Because when you talk about DaBaby, they came out on him as well, saying that he's done this stuff recently to them. And it's like, how did he last this long?
How did they all last this long?
No, how did he make it past the nursing home thing? Say I'm not stepping down, and now this, and he still ain't stepped down
because he's being shielded.
On who's protecting him? Because
the Clintons.
I tell you who it ain't. It ain't de Blasio.
It's the Clintons.
De Blasio. I don't think so.
You don't think? Who do you think it is?
I will get to that. De Blasio says Cuomo should be charged criminally. Now we know him and Cuomo been had beef, so it's whatever. But even President Barack Biden, but President Biden came out and said he needs to step down.
Oh, Biden finally came down and he finally said it because before he wouldn't say it.
He said if the attorney general comes to any conclusion that there was any harassment, he needs to step down, and she did. So,
come on,
he done.
Pack the rags up.
And I'm gonna tell you why I think so. But speaking of Biden, the last person to be talking is Biden.
Yeah, Tara, what's her name?
No, not that. Even though Tara Reid is a story, Tara Reid came out and said that he sexually violated her. She gave very detailed what he did. Pushed her against the wall, grabbed her, whatever.
There's evidence.
Her husband, even at the divorce thing, brought it up and said ever since that situation, we haven't been, and now they're saying she's crazy or whatever. But let's just let Tara Reid go. All right, she's crazy, she lied. All right. What would you say if I told you that a 14-year-old girl said that he grabbed her inappropriately when she was 8 in front of the cameras? If you remember, a few years ago,
they were showing that clip of him hugging
the people and kissing the people, all the kisses.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little girl there. She was 8 then. It was a senator's daughter named Steve Daines. Niece confirmed. I'm sorry, it was his niece. I'm sorry. Confirms Joe Biden pinched her nipple, according to report. Now she was on TikTok.
He pinched an 8-year-old's nipple.
Yes, Travis, he did. You didn't have to say that out loud. Thank you. We not monetized on this one. Well, our little couple $2-3 is gone with this video. Our $2-3 gone with this video. All right, fuck it. Let's go ahead and say what the hell we want to say now. But but back to this. She came out and said, because someone asked her, could they remember the video? It said, did he pinch you? And she said yes. It was on TikTok. She deleted the post, and when somebody asked her why didn't she say anything, she said because people won't be my friend no more. Now I'm gonna show y'all the video right quick of her. What she said was him touching her. Now I'm just gonna keep the sound on. You look, she pulled away. You see it? Watch this. Something happening. She pulls away. She looks lost, like she don't know what happened. Look. It's obvious what happened there.
Wow. Make sure you screenshot that, because that video gonna go missing.
No, it's on C-SPAN. They on his ass. I don't know. That's the point. There's stuff the media just isn't covering. There's a whole bunch of stuff been coming out. They're just not covering it. Now, that's clearly Joe Biden inappropriately touching.
CNN, NSBC, they'll never put this story out.
Hell, I ain't even seen Fox talk about it. Let's be real. Nobody want to touch it. They wouldn't even talk about Hunter Biden. They just Tucker Carlson was supposed to have all this shit he about to drop on Hunter Biden. He just, I'm not going to talk about it no more. He's my friend. What? What the hell is going on when the media just ain't covering stuff? What kind of society you in when the media, who's supposed to tell you about what's going on, just not telling you stuff? No, we know that's been going on in America.
They cherry pick.
We know that's been going on in America forever, but you're not even in a real society at that point. Everything around you has been created. It's a fake. It's a bubble. They tell you what to believe.
Well, black people, we in a damn bubble.
But that's not even the worst thing. Look at this. Biden's daughter's diary details not appropriate showers with Joe as child. Now, this is his daughter's diary. If you read here, it says, I remember that this is down. It's not at the top. She said, showing boys my underpants, hypersexualized at a young age. What does this do to? Was I molested? I think so. I can't remember specifics, but I do remember trauma. I remember not liking a Wozak's house. I remember somewhat being sexualized with somebody else. I remember having sex with friends at a young age. Showers with my dad, probably not appropriate. Being turned on when I wasn't supposed to be.
She was turned on by her dad in the shower?
That's what she's saying. She said she is considered that she's a sex addict. She's a sex addict, as she say. So that's Biden's daughter and a senator's niece How does that not get him up out of here? We all
Can you imagine if that was Donald Trump, that these allegations?
Well, hold on. Donald Trump ain't no better.
No, because it's been alleged for years that him and his daughter, Ivanka Trump.
He came out and said he want to lay up with his daughter.
Well, he said if she wasn't his daughter, he would.
Yeah,
probably.
What a good one. Yeah. All right. What's next? So, I don't know how Biden is able to act like he's any better.
DaBaby.
All right. I guess we got to go into that. The Brat and Judy Dupart being openly gay in hip hop easier now, despite DaBaby's ignorance.
Well, we knew you,
Brat. Even though you dated Allen Iverson, we knew. The Brat
you
says
and Queen Latifah, we knew.
The Brat says it's way better now being an openly gay rapper, and even though DaBaby's recent homophobic rant makes it seem otherwise, she's living out loud with her ride and die fiance Judy Dupart. The extremely happy couple joined us Wednesday on TMZ Live and insisted DaBaby wasn't speaking for all hip hop when he dropped the homophobic rant at Rolling Loud. The Brat says there's a different vibes these days when someone comes out as gay versus back when she was coming up in the industry, when artists could lose everything just for coming out. Now, you mean when you wore it on your sleeve and made it about everything? I mean, if I'm not that, when you rap about it, that's not me, so why would I don't get it. The Brat says there's an easy case. The Brat says there's an easy case in point with Ellen, whose ABC sitcom was subsequently 86 after she came out in 1997 episode. The rapper says that undoubtedly made artists feel like they need to continue hiding their sexual orientation or face consequences. Brat herself came out just last summer saying she could finally feel free to share her truth because she established her career after 2 decades, but mainly because of Judy, a successful woman in her own right, is CEO of something hair products.
So she got a show out coming out called Brat Loves Judy.
I don't know, man.
Black women, how do y'all allow them to let them do this to y'all? You let it happen every single time.
They always get you. Always get you. Also, another woman, quote unquote, came after DaBaby. Pose actress Angelica Ross slams critics after sharing encounter with DaBaby. Now, this is what she said. Story time. I actually met DaBaby earlier this year. Flew home to Atlanta and had his gaze stuck on me as I walked toward him because he was standing next to my limo driver. He looked at the sign, then back at me. Miss Ross, he said out loud. I just laughed and left with my driver. Now, she's trying to make you know what she's saying. So people started saying, well, what's this about? What do you bring this up for? And she was like, one thing folks know about me, I don't have to lie and kick it. I don't make up stories unless I've been paid to through something film, television. It's not about what it says about him, but what it says about me and other trans women. We don't all entertain these men and their nonsense. The universe was speaking to me, had nothing to do with him. The more of every story doesn't center around y'all is the point. What the story is about? What is the story about then?
The story is about you trying to paint this man
as
attracted to you. That's what you try to imply. You try to imply
that he was attracted to you. That's why he having these rants and stuff. You think that he's another one of those situations where he only saying this because he has desires that he don't want to face up to. What the? Okay, it's a whole bunch of shit going on with this computer right now. But yeah, so also Michael Jamal Warner made comments about it. He said, well, he didn't really say it. He was co-signing what Dr. Boyce Watkins was saying.
But Dr. Boyce?
Dr. Boyce had a tweet and he went underneath it and was agreeing with it, I guess. So I'm going to go ahead and show it here where...
And Comedy Heights saw that shit and they ran with it, huh?
Comedy Heights said, say what you want. They make sure they really talk about comedy. But whenever anything popped with any actor who was close to comedy, they own it. But at this point, though, they talk about anything, really. They don't even talk about comedy. Like I said, when the last time they uploaded a video about comedy? Oh, yeah. Bill Cosby, why Bill Cosby was arrested and why Cosby Show failed. And neither one of those videos got that many views on their channel, considering the subscribers they got. It's like, clearly your audience ain't feeling that.
Nope.
We're going to show what happened with Jamal, what he had to say.
The AIDS Over the past week, it has been announced that his Lollapalooza and Governor's Ball headlining sets have been canceled, among a few others.
Man,
the
take
rapper
that
has
shit off
since
your damn
apologized for his comments, while others continue to chime in on the matter. Malcolm Jamal Warner reposted a tweet from Dr. Boyce Watkins, who gave his thoughts. The post said, rappers call black women bees and hoes, another hit record. Rap about killing black people, sell 1 million copies. Say something about LGBT, whites, Asians, or Jews, you're on your knees apologizing. That's racism 101. You're on an effing plantation. Malcolm's caption read, where's the lie?
Where's the lie?
We love drinking the Kool-Aid. What's your favorite flavor? Now,
grape.
Let me say this. I was thinking the same thing. So DaBaby can rap about, in his songs, DaBaby rap about shoot niggas, beat niggas up.
Yellow bones.
He rap about hoes and how he just sleep with all these women. He even got a song, Throat Baby.
That's his, DaBaby song is a Throat Baby?
Yes.
Damn. I've never heard the song. And don't, yeah. Wow. So when Kwame be singing that, he talking about DaBaby.
Well, he's on a remix, I guess you call it. He's featured on it. It's not his song, but
okay.
He had a song called Throw Baby.
That should have been like,
that can come out. That's allowed to be on the radio and spin. But he make comments on stage, not even in a song, on stage, then he get banned from festivals. Okay. So you can shoot a nigga, beat a nigga up, constantly overly sexualize, that's fine. But when you say something about
LGBT,
the alphabet community,
or the
HIV community, that's a community
HIV
now.
community. Or
I didn't know that was a community.
Jews. Whew.
Look at Nick Cannon tell you about that one.
Nick Cannon already done did his
shaming.
His shaming and his they had to, educate him.
You always need education, Negro. Negro, you need education.
Because you're always putting out misinformation.
You're just so stupid. We have to train you on how to be a normal person.
I guess you got to go back into slavery again and us do it all over again to you so you get it this time.
Speaking of slavery, let's talk about Black News Channel might have did some real news.
They brought Yvette Carnell on.
I'm trying to
disappeared off of YouTube.
What? Okay, I think it was New York Times, wasn't it?
What?
Was the first.
They did the article? I think it was in New York Times.
So this is the first news outlet that's brought her on.
Well, no, she was on CNN.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're right.
She did that thing with,
but they showed her, but.
It was like at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
They knew nobody won't really going to be.
Yeah, it was like, okay, we got you on. So Yvette Carnell went on Black News Channel to speak about ADOS or
Advocacy Foundation.
ADOS Advocacy Foundation. I guess they had to turn it into
They have to rebrand it.
I don't think it was a rebrand. I think they had to turn it into a.
For her, I do think it's a rebrand.
You think so?
Because she has not been on her YouTube channel for like 3 or 4 months.
I don't think she want to do YouTube no more.
Okay.
I think, and this is my opinion, I think she look at YouTube as, I don't want to be a YouTuber.
Okay.
I don't want to be somebody who's on YouTube talking. So I'm going to actually get away from it.
Well, they have that their advocacy, their ADOS Advocacy Foundation now has a channel, and she's on that channel.
So she's not on her original channel. So I told you, I think she's getting away from.
This is kind of a rebrand.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, but
I have no opinion on that whole part. But I am going to listen to what she had to say to the Pan Africanist,
Mr. Lamont,
Mark Lamont Hill. She had some. He didn't really go. You could tell he didn't want to
poke the bear.
With everybody else, he would antagonize. He would constantly try to catch you up. He didn't try to do that with her
because he couldn't debate what she was gonna say when she started bringing out the whole Pan-Africanist thing and how it has not actually done anything and start bringing out examples of how it does. What is Mark gonna say? Mark can't give examples.
Let's see what the man Mark and had to speak about with Yvette.
He's finally bringing people on there that can challenge him.
Well, he lost. He didn't challenge Yvette, but he lost to Judge Joe Brown.
The infamous Judge Joe Brown.
Judge Joe Brown got him up out of here.
What kind of plunder we're talking about, what kind of money it takes to repair the damage done, who gets it, and how they get it. So talk to me a little bit about ADOS's policy vision as it pertains to reparations.
Well,
ADOS, the ADOS Advocacy Foundation, we are committed to cash payments. And we are committed to cash payments to a specific group of people, right? And those are American descendants of slavery. Now, we have a transformative black agenda that includes all black people. But in terms of reparations, those are the people that built the country and have been systemically, methodically oppressed since then. So you have to have a method not only for cash payments, but for programs to protect that wealth. Because you can give wealth to a group of people and then that money is plundered by white supremacy and super capitalists who would like nothing more than to take it away from us. So we have to have certain protections, but we absolutely have to have cash payments. And this absolutely has to be a federal government initiative in terms of how we do this and how we have outlays and appropriations and things of that nature. It has to happen that way.
Cash payments, how much we talking?
I like to talk about it as a down payment. I don't like to talk about it because I always say it this way. It takes a lot more time to heal a wound than it takes to inflict a wound. And America has been inflicting a wound for 400 years plus. So it's going to take longer than that to actually heal that wound and close the racial wealth gap, which we like to call the lineage wealth gap. It's going to take longer than that. So I like to call it a down payment. But I think we're talking about at least 20 trillion. That's where we are. Down payment.
$20 trillion. So, and it's an interesting number when you think about what happened during the pandemic, when American capitalism was on the brink, when Trump's presidency was looking shaky, when the heads of multinational corporations were like, what are we going to do? They found $1 trillion real quick for America, right? So the idea of not being able to recover $20 trillion is somewhat less plausible than it was before, because there was time people, you almost sounded like Dr. Evil saying anything with a T in it, right? But now that amount of money doesn't sound crazy anymore to people.
Because it's not crazy.
It's not crazy anymore because these motherfuckers just printing it.
It's a debt. They know that, man. They know that.
They just
time is up.
They just print the money, so money don't really matter. I mean, I remember when even though it don't matter what he say, I remember when DJ Vlad had came out and said that, he don't support cash payments because it's impossible.
Who is Jewish?
He's Jewish. He said he don't support cash payments because it's impossible. And then when the government came out with $1 trillion just out of nowhere, he was just like, okay, okay, they might be able to do reparation. Hold up. And obviously, there was no way they were going to talk about ADOS without talking about the backlash they received
from immigrants. Particularly black immigrants.
Well, no, that's the only immigrants. That's the only immigrants you would give a damn about. To be honest with you, you wouldn't care about none of the other ones. So he asked her the question about the backlash that ADOS has received, and whether she thinks it's warranted or deserved, or if people have taken what they said out of context, or people have been using the name to disparage immigrant groups, black immigrants groups. So let's see what she had to say on the topic with, I'm about to say boys from.
They all the same. Go along, get along, gang.
Is there any room for a conversation, in your estimation, around how ADOS and its sort of commitment to talking about descendants of slavery may alienate people who come from other parts of the continent, may undermine a Pan-African agenda, or may kind of replicate, whether it's through the American flag imagery or through constantly talking about a certain kind of lineage, almost replicate a certain kind of American nationalism?
Well, I think we have to make a sort of delineation, right? There's a difference between nationalism and nativism. We're proud of the country that we built. We're proud of the slaves who built the country. We are absolutely proud of our freedom struggle through Jim Crow, mass incarceration. We're proud that we're still here. So what I would say is, we are absolutely have a right to be proud of what we built, right? The same way that a Jamaican American is absolutely proud of their history of coming out of slavery. The same way a Haitian is absolutely proud of Toussaint L'Ouverture. We're proud in the same way, and you have to let us have that. We are a specific ethnic lineage. That's who we are. Now, there have been a lot of diaspora wars, but let me say this. A lot of those wars were not started by us. And a lot of those wars, we were defending ourselves. People call me the granddaughter of a cotton picker. right? People call me all sorts of names because I come from sharecroppers. And the problem that I have with a lot of Pan-Africanists is that they will look at me and say, oh my gosh, you have people behaving in ways that are unproductive. And I want to say you have a lot of people who are behaving in ways that are white supremacists. They are behaving in ways where they co-sign white supremacy. We saw on CNN somebody say something, an anchor said something about America's the greatest country. I could never have done this in another country. Meanwhile, we as ADOS see this, we see what America has done to us. And we see that a lot of people are not very respectful of not only what we have endured, but the pathway where we have opened up to them to come here. If it wasn't for us and our freedom struggle, there would be no black and brown people here. And so we see a lot of disrespect coming our way.
So she answered the question thoroughly. And look, I agree with her on the so-called diaspora wars and how it's not really a diaspora war because it's one-sided to me. From what I see, it's pretty one-sided.
It's pretty one-sided. They've already explained that, you know, ADOS is a group for American descendants of slaves for reparations and other things that need to be done to prepare the black community. And because now the black immigrants, they don't want a separation. But they identify themselves as what? Haitian? Nigerian?
They do. They identify themselves, but they should. Their nationality, they're proud of their heritage and lineage.
They know that if there is a distinction, then they feel like I may not be able to get things that I want because I'm no longer connected to them just because we're all black. Because now they're viewed as their own tribe. Now Americans, they have their own tribe now. We can't just go on there and blend in because we're going to be told, well, you're not an American descendant of slavery.
Well, we've seen people say Twitter is the most toxic social media platform. And I would have agreed with that until Clubhouse came. Clubhouse is by far the most toxic and useless social platform out there. I use Twitter. I don't tweet. Rarely. The only thing I tweet when we make videos, I tweet them out sometimes. I use Twitter because you get instant information quickly.
True.
It's instant. Something trended, boom, it's immediately trending on Twitter. It's quick as to get information. So that's why I'm on Twitter. But Clubhouse, all they do is talk shit. Look at this. This was a room in Clubhouse. African Americans, stay in America. Leave Africa alone. I can't tell you. There's people on the timeline that talk about this every day. All these rooms they open up talking about ADOS, African Americans, and it's always the same people in the room. And you go, I don't see the opposite making those rooms.
Oh, telling Africans
to stay out of
America.
I don't see African. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I don't see too many of these rooms of African Americans creating these rooms and talking about other black groups in disparaging ways, especially.
Seems like African Americans just have. I'm not gonna say African Americans. Seems like all these groups just have problems with African Americans. Not even just black. We see Asians got problems with black Americans.
There was a video we watched.
Hispanics got problems with African Americans. It was on YouTube.
Yeah, there was a video we watched. I can't remember what the name of it was. It was African American versus.
It was on one of those channels where they debate.
I can't remember what other group it was.
Probably like a BuzzFeed channel or something.
Something like that. I can't remember what the other group was.
It was Asians.
It was Asians?
It was the African American. And we went to the comment section.
When you go to the comment section, you saw people from Africa. It should be the next one should be African American Africa. Then the next one, it should be African American Jamaican. Then it said African American Haitian. It should African American Indian. I saw one Native American asking for a debate with African American
who had us in slavery. By the way, just
want to
like
have a
white
debate.
people did.
It's like, wait, every group in the damn comments wanted to debate with African Americans,
and I'm like, Native American, African American. What the fuck we do to you? We barely see you. It's barely none of y'all left.
Every now and again.
Every blue moon.
Every now and again.
What the fuck do we do to you?
But the point of it is, you right. All those groups in the comment section wanted to get their gripe out with African Americans. They were just like,
What is the gripe?
What the fuck we do?
We don't even live around y'all. Y'all choose to come and move around us. Oh,
welcome back to Black News.
There's a dude in the comment section the other day because you said that there's a such thing as talking black.
Yeah.
And he said there's no such thing as talking black.
It's just hood.
If you live in the hood, you live in the hood.
And I said, wait, so you're talking about inflections in your voice, lingo, slang, dialect and slang. All that is just hood.
If you just live in the hood. I was like, man, you're a caricature of black people.
Yeah, he did. It was, but and you know what comes to this, back to the main topic, reparations. They always say, oh, you don't need it. Get over it. Da 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 da. There's a story that just came out. 100-year-old alleged former Nazi will stand trial on charges of involvement of the deaths of nearly 3,500 Jews.
But they can't go back and find what?
I forgot to put the picture up. Remember those pictures we always see of those black people
getting hung
in trees, and you see all hundreds of white people standing around them. They faces right there,
pants down.
Yeah, chopped up. But nobody can find who those people is in that picture. Who are an accessory to a murder.
They have that's where they get the term picnic from, pick a nigger.
And it's like, how the hell can you find this 100-year-old man, but you can't find those 100-year-old people? You can't find those 80-year-olds, 60-year-olds, some of them 60, 70. A lot of those are kids. You can't find none of them. Now, I'm not saying you should blame the kids.
Oh, you definitely should blame the kids.
In this society, you're not allowed to. You know how they'll get mad at that.
The children pay for the fathers of they pay for their
crime of their fathers.
Sin. Sorry.
But none of those people can be found. Even the woman, the woman who got Emmett Till killed, she was still alive the whole time.
She just said, yeah, it was all a lie.
But
we're not going to reveal where she is.
They protected her location.
She should have been locked up. She reported a false crime that they got somebody killed. She'd have been locked up.
They can go find 100-year-old Nazis, former Nazis, as they called him, a former Nazi.
But black people, that was just so long ago.
Get over it.
There's no way we'll ever be able to locate those people.
They hunting these people down. But you know what? I don't blame them. We should be doing that. We should be doing it. We should be doing it ourselves, hunting them down. That woman who did that to Emmett Till, she should have been hunt down. People should have got up with that journalist and made him give up the information. Just like Zimmerman should have dealt with him.
Can create your own Guantanamo Bay, I guess.
That's what you're supposed to do. They were given a country and they're completely taking advantage of it. So it's just as much as our fault. They would have found a dude who's 100 years old. But you shouldn't expect reparations. And I try to find some arguments. I want to try to look up arguments against reparations.
You couldn't find any?
And the main of the arguments was, you weren't a slave, they weren't slave owners. Why should they be forced to pay for it through taxes? The same old stuff. It wasn't real social argument. It wasn't real argument.
Because you, sir, have benefited off of what your forefathers did, so you should have to pay for it.
I found this article on The Atlantic, and it said the impossibility of reparations. The first thing he said was, the program will expand to additional groups. Within only a few months of implementation of the Philadelphia Plan, preference of various kinds were extended to women, Hispanics, and other groups. With any program of reparations, likewise, other claimants will come forward. If African Americans are due payment for slavery and subjugation, what about Native Americans who lost a whole continent? What about Mexican Americans who were deprived by the Mexican-American War of the right to migrate into half a former country? They lost a war though. Japanese Americans interned during the World War II. Chinese Americans, the victims of coolie labor in the Oriental Exclusion Acts. Members of these groups may concede that they were not maltreated in the same way as African Americans and may not be entitled to the exact or the same consideration. But if Black Americans are entitled to almost $1 trillion in compensation, costs just a figure of $34 billion a year for a decade or two, surely these other maltreated groups must be entitled to at least something?
No, because Native Americans already get reparations. I'm sorry, they own land. They have their own reservations, and secondly, they not even the fucking real Native Americans of the country. They migrated here.
The part that don't make sense is these were wars.
And Native Americans also had slavery.
The Mexican, there was a war. The Chinese, that was in a time of war. Internment camps. That was war. Now, right or wrong, it was a war going on. Niggas ain't, there wasn't no war.
You know what? Listen, I can't.
Now, hold on. The question of who qualifies will become even more contested and embittered. Under today's racial preference rules, a nephew of King of Spain, of the daughter of chairman of the biggest bank in Chile, would both qualify for Hispanic preference if they reside in the United States. Harvard can and does meet its African-American diversity requirements with the children of recent African immigrants whose families never experienced slavery or segregation in this country. I agree with that. That's why you have ADOS. That's the point of ADOS. So that a person who wasn't here can't benefit from it. So that's solved. Right?
Yes, it's definitely solved.
Side effects will be larger and unexpected. Affirmative action characteristics some part of the American economy. Affirmative action characterizes some parts of the American economy more strongly than others, and in particular, the public sector more than the private sector. This prevailing fact has shaped the growth of the black middle class. Black Americans are 30% more likely than non-blacks to work in the public sector, where they earn higher wages relative to white Americans than they do in private employment. This strategy brought security to many black families in the years of 1970 to 2008. But the strategy came as a cost. First, the strategy tethered black economic advancement to the growth of government. That growth has become even more fiercely contested in recent years. Since 2008, it has abruptly halted and reversed. Second, the strategy deterred talented people away from the higher risks and rewards of the private sector, and especially from entrepreneurship. Black Americans are Black Americans are less than half as likely as white to own their own business. A reparations plan is likely to prove even more distorting. The program will work severe inequalities. Then he said the legitimacy of the project will rapidly fade.
So what I got out of this article is we don't want y'all to elevate, because if y'all elevate, it destroys the whole economy and the whole way that America functions by us giving you something. We have to keep y'all at the bottom. We can't let y'all rise. Somebody has to be at the bottom.
It always has to be that way. But we'll go on to the next topic, reparations. We talked about it. Mark Lamont Hill, if you look at the whole video, like I said, he didn't really, obviously he would agree with reparations. But being a Pan-Africanist, I thought he was come against her a little bit more.
Oh, he did.
He did?
Well, he said that you know that when it comes to Pan-Africanism, me and you totally disagree on that part. But I just think he wanted to keep the segment positive because he tired of people eating his ass up in the comment section.
Let me tell you something. The Joe Brown audience is bigger, but that ADOS audience, they are relentless. They would have came after him for weeks. So he knew.
He didn't want to get his ass stung.
It's not as many.
They might have would have found dirt on his ass.
Yeah, that's why he was like, hands off on this one.
You got people that work in the government.
Oh shit.
Tariq know about it.
Oh man, but look, speaking of Black News Channel, people been on their ass. Obviously, if you remember Jason, what's his name?
Black Authority.
Black Authority had a whole show dedicated to talking shit about them, how useless they were.
As he should.
And we've talked about it.
Sure, yeah, definitely.
We've talked about their obvious
pandering
to women, particularly black women. They clearly, every segment.
Brown women too.
Yeah. It's like sad. You go to the comment sections on their videos, and people just constantly say, "Where's the black man? Where?"
Oh, the only time we talk about the black man is when he's being released from prison, or going to prison, or dying, or
mass incarceration,
or child support.
They got a few videos and they're talking about opening businesses and stuff, but most of the stuff,
the brothers that own the first black bread company,
which is a big deal.
That's a huge deal, and unfortunately, I don't eat bread, but I would buy bread through for work, to support their business.
Yeah, but they still, I don't know if this is a new segment or if this is a one-time thing. They got this thing now called All Things Men,
which lets you know that what
They've been hearing it.
They've been hearing it.
Now, this is the host of it. His whole show, at least the first episode, was dedicated to entertainment industry and all this other stuff. Black entertainment, black men in entertainment.
Wow.
And I immediately thought when we saw this, they've been hearing the criticism. They've been hearing people say, what the hell? Why is everything so split down the middle? Whereas you're clearly pandering to a certain segment.
Mm-hmm.
And the other side is just getting nothing.
I don't know what they thought was going to happen. When you make every show about black women, and it's like, we love our sisters, support our sisters too, but
come on now.
It needs to be some balance. And now,
let's keep it a buck.
Right now, honestly, they need to talk about more about black men.
No, black boys.
Yeah, black boys.
Let's just keep it a buck. Black boys ain't got it. They ain't got it good right now.
Sad.
Education, everything. As Kwame always bring up, talking about a very low reading level.
Yeah.
Just the reading level.
Yeah.
That needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
So.
And black boys are way more often to be in those we call them slow classes in North Carolina.
Yeah, because black boys are just so different. Their teaching them is just so different.
It's not so different. We are a special group of people, a particular people, and we mostly receive information through you gotta put some
education or learning is cultural as anything else. Depending on the environment you're around, you're going to learn a certain way. Now, I don't believe in the idea that some people are visual learners and some people are physical learners or hands-on learners. I think it's based off how you were raised and the environment you're in.
Yeah.
If boys in general are more explorative, you're more than likely to get them to learn something if you put them in the middle of it.
You got to make it fun.
Exactly. That's kids in general making it fun. If you tell a kid to just sit in the chair and write what's already in a book in your journal and read it and remember it, it's not really teaching them.
Mm-mm.
So hopefully that improves. But when we speak about the disrespect and the neglect of the black boy, we also have to talk about the disrespect towards not just black men, but black fathers. We saw during the election cycle, my God, the amount of backhanded slaps they did towards black men.
Get your ass to the get your ass to the poll.
And then they did the same thing with the vaccine.
Vax that
No,
thing
not just
up.
that. It was another thing, another promotional thing they did for vaccines. And it's just like, they really do talk to you and treat you like an idiot.
They treat you like a child.
Pretty much. You're just a child to them.
Now, this photo right here bothered me.
So, if you look at this, this is a photo of Diddy with his daughters.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even go to the deeper level, the all black. We're not even going to what it really might signify. The worship of his. We're not even getting to that. It's a father with his 3 daughters. Whatever picture. I think they wrote an article. I had a whole expose on him or whatever. Shouldn't be that big a deal. And then I saw this tweet right here. Fixed it for you using the Diddy crop. Now the Diddy crop, this thing where he's known for cutting people out of pictures on his Instagram and stuff. But this was not funny.
No, it wasn't funny at all.
Immediately people came to her like, why would you cut their father out of the picture? It doesn't make,
because we're in the era of the mother goddess. Everything's about the woman. Everything revolves around the woman.
And the funny part is she said that right here when the woman said, where is it at? She said, that's better. The flat top was killing me. And she said, the shoot is about his girls. This ain't another bad boy joint where Puff has to insert himself in every video. The shoot, they're there because of him.
If it wasn't for their father, they would not be taking no photo shoot.
And then she said this in response, it was a joke, not an attempt to devalue the importance of black fatherhood. Plus, the only reason his girls are in Vanity Fair is because their dad is Puff. So he can never be erased. Have a great day. You just said it's not about him, it's about his daughters.
Backpedaling like they always do. Backpedal. And you know what? What bothers me is First of all, Diddy shouldn't be on the damn ground and his daughters is standing over him. He needs to be
in a chair.
And
they're standing around him.
And they're standing around him to gather around him to show the importance of what their father has done to them, or have they ass down on the ground sitting under him. That's crazy.
Don't explain yourself. Some people just choose to be ignorant and try to start ish.
Jamaica.
And she was the ignorant one who started this. Not a comment section is the internet for. Good day.
Jamaica, y'all done got y'all 2 little gold medals for what you get every year. Enjoy it.
Oh man. But yeah, I just thought I wanted to share that, and how the way the media and such are covering the black community is completely devaluing the role of black men and black boys to a point where, let's be honest, it's been bad for the last decade plus, really. It's just been called out more recently. I said decade, it really been a couple decades. Or 5 decades, but now we got to talk about something else.
Jason Whitlock.
Jason Whitlock.
Jason.
Let me say this right quick. Jason Whitlock, like I said before, I agree with a few things he says. He had a show the other day where he spoke about black men not wanting to work together. Blah, 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 blah. I agree with that stuff. Responsibility, accountability to each other. Agree. But Jason Whitlock's one of those dudes where he either hit a home run or he strike out. There's no in between with Jason.
He's been striking out a lot lately.
He either hits that thing at the park like Barry Bonds, or, he hitting like 180. Like he's just, it's bad. When it's bad, it's bad.
When it's good, it's good.
When it's good, it's great. When it's bad, it's bad. These are his opinions. He deserves to have his opinions.
It's his show. He can talk about whatever he wants to talk about.
Exactly. And I have my opinions on it. So recently he had an episode where he spoke about the Olympics and I'm sorry, not Olympics. He had an episode where he spoke about the Olympics and how we are anti-American and all this stuff. And he brought up this wrestler girl who got on camera and said how much she loved America and she loved her family and God.
And they loved the patriotism.
Yeah. And they was like, yay, this woman. And Jason Whitlock had started talking. And he said, you see this? Why ain't black people supporting her?
Well, why aren't they supporting her?
He said black people ain't supporting her. She's the first black woman to win a wrestling gold. Congratulations to her. And he was going and talking, giving her all this praise. And then he said, wait, let me stop before I say something. He looked it up and he started giggling. And then he said, we'll be fine. He said, she's married to a white guy. And they laughed. Uncle Jimmy looked at the camera like, shit. And you could tell from that moment they didn't want to talk about the subject no more. And the reason I'm bringing that up is Jason Whitlock, because he's a super Christian, he has this almost obsession with connecting Christianity
with patriotism
to America. And
not patriotism towards the Most High and his kingdom, but America.
Yeah, and he even made the point. He said I need to bring back the draft so that we can put some skin in the game and understand why we should love this country.
Well, you take your fat ass and you go back and get drafted in.
Now, what he's really saying right there is you need to go to the military so you could be indoctrinated with propaganda. So that's all that is.
Jason Whitlock, when they do it, sign your fat ass up and go into the army.
There are certain countries like Greece, Israel, that when you turn a certain age, like 17, you immediately got to go through basic training. And that's to indoctrinate you at a young age
to love
your country and be for your country, so that at any moment when we go to war, you'll be
willing to die for it.
So what he's saying is we need to propagandize and indoctrinate our children at a younger age.
How much love, sweat, and tears and blood do black people need to put into America?
They already put a lot.
How much more do we need to give?
He said we ain't put no skin in the game.
Skin?
When he say skin, he meant the people right now who are speaking anti-American, like he would say the reason why I'm speaking anti-American because I wasn't in the military. And I would say, yeah, because I wasn't filled up with propaganda. Yeah, I probably why.
Listen, I was one of the people that signed up to go to possibly be a Marine.
Uh-huh.
And it just wasn't, and for some reason I didn't want to do it, and then I didn't want to do it, it didn't work out. And it was the best thing that could have ever happened.
I remember when the guy came, he fell asleep. He was so tired.
Exactly.
And it was almost like most I put him to sleep. Like, whoosh, you don't need this one. But the real thing we want to talk about, and that's just to give you some of his opinions from the show. He talked about the founding fathers and slavery. And he wanted to give a quote unquote biblical perspective on how people should feel about the quote unquote founding fathers and slavery. And I made sure I watched the whole show so that I can get his opinion, not their opinion. And he never really gave an opinion on this. He asked them the question and he agreed with them. So this is his opinion then.
Well, either two things. He didn't say anything because he didn't really want there to be any backlash for him having his own. Okay, well maybe he just brought them on and let them talk all the talking points then.
Yeah.
It was an episode where he was relaxing.
They're pastors. So that's why he used them.
He brought on a white pastor and a black pastor.
Yeah, but a white pastor did all the talking.
Of course.
So I'm going to show y'all this video of him speaking on how we should feel about slavery and the founding fathers, a biblical perspective. Let's get right into it.
Given slavery, I want you guys to speak directly to them. How should we feel about America's founding fathers? There's this belief now that they committed sins so despicable that anything that they did is tainted, including the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. It's all tainted because of their sin. Is that accurate?
It all depends on what you mean by that. Do we make them idols who committed no sins? Well, we're not going to do that. I hope we're not doing that. But just like me, like I was sharing with Anthony as we were coming in, my kids got to the point growing up with me where they realized, man, my dad has these faults. I thought my dad was great. I thought my dad was perfect. My son's got a book coming out, and in it he has this thing where I thought my dad did everything right, and then I realized he didn't. And I went through a real negative period toward my dad, and then he says I had to work through it to realize, my dad's got faults, but everybody's got faults.
So they're comparing men owning slaves to being a fault.
Mm.
He just compared things he do wrong in his son's eyes to the wrong that the founding fathers did towards an entire population.
Let's take it back to Jason Whitlock when he's bringing up the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. When those things were being written, they were not written for you, Jason Whitlock. They were not written for the slaves and black people. They were written for European people. So you can't use that as an example of the things that they did, quote unquote, that was great, because those great things that they were doing were never intended for you.
And here's the thing, that's fine. It's not your kingdom. That's the part. The word kingdom isn't used enough no more. When you say kingdom, it's understood there's a hierarchy in that kingdom. There's a class that leads and there's a bottom class. When you say a country, it gets convoluted now. This, like many others, is a kingdom. The people in charge built the kingdom to help people that are part of the top class in that kingdom. There's nothing wrong with that because every kingdom has done it. The problem is when you justify it and act like it's not that bad and it should be ignored. It is what it is. This kingdom fallen anyway, so it don't even matter.
My dad is still a good man.
So is he making an argument that the quote unquote founding fathers, even though they owned slaves, were still good men?
I remember there was a documentary that came out, and they had former slaves speaking about their masters, and you had some people that were you had some slave masters that probably weren't as harsh towards black people, but that still doesn't take away the fact that they had them as a slave. They said, see, look, you had white people in the comment section saying, see how nice they were to their slaves.
Good Lord.
I was like,
twisted.
Your time coming.
Look at the same way of the founding fathers. Did they have faults? Yes, they did.
A fault.
But did they still do good things? Yes, they did in the midst of that. And let's be honest, if we're talking about what the Bible says, like the Bible is full of people with faults that God used. Like Abraham. Abraham is the...
Now this is the part that pissed me off. Jason Whitlock sat there and let him compare these men to the prophets of the Bible.
Why they do it backwards?
No, they're saying the one who flawed the most versus flawed the least. They're saying Moses was the most flawed there, I guess.
Wow. Well, they try to use they try to say, people in the conversation were like, well, slavery was in the Bible. Yeah, but you had to do it.
No, let's be honest. Who was in...
White people, white conservatives.
No. Who was getting put into slavery when it was justified? It wasn't the Israelites.
No.
Whenever the quote unquote Hebrews were put into slavery, that's when it was unjustified.
Because
like it is what it is. They ain't the damn Hebrews.
They're not that. Yeah.
That's the difference.
And when other people were put into slavery, they were servitude. And then even when the Israelites, when they did put people into slavery, it was 7 years or whatever debt you owed, and then after that, you would let go. You just paying your debt.
Crazy.
Forefather of the faith for Jews and Christians, and Abraham had sex with his slave Hagar and had Ishmael through her.
What?
Now, does that mean...
What happened to Ishmael? What happened to Ishmael? He was banished.
His wife only told him to have sex with her because she couldn't have kids to conceive at that time.
Yeah, and Hagar and Ishmael were banished. What does it say? They were banished.
I mean, he did right? No, it was not a good thing. But did God still use him? And you could go through the list of all these people in the Bible, and they're just like you and me, Jason. We've got our faults.
So what he's saying is the prophets and the scriptures are just like you.
So he's putting himself on the same level.
A prophet. And I know some of y'all don't believe in the scriptures or whatever, but that you have to understand the blaspheme that is. Now these were men, but these men weren't just, they were men of God. They were cut from a totally different cloth.
But does that mean that our faults totally destroy the good that God still does through us? And I would say, no, they're still good through us, just like our forefathers. They did a lot of good, and we just need to acknowledge they were men of their time with the flaws and faults of their time, just like we have the same tendency.
I think part of what comes from that question is that we have lifted our forefathers to almost idol status in some instances, that they could do no wrong, they did no wrong. We minimize their faults as if it just really didn't exist. As he brings up Abraham, I think about David. David was a great man of God. I mean, to the church in Israel, they would look back to old King David. But David, he slept with a married woman, had her husband killed. They had a love child. It was a whole messy thing. But because he had gotten so distant from his sin that even when a good friend of his came and told him a parable that was just like his sin, David raised up and said, man, that man ought to be killed. He had become so distant that he didn't realize, wait, that was me. So as we look back at our founders, I'm with Bobby, they did some good things. I struggle with revering them because, some of the stuff they did was heinous.
Now keep in mind, that's all we need to see from this. None of them would say the word slavery. None of them would say they own slaves.
Mm-mm.
None of them would say it.
But that puts a damper on the conversation.
They just said they did bad things.
Because if they were to say, well, the other one that owns slaves, well, how did they treat their slaves? They didn't script them of their culture, their language, or anything.
It's insane, man.
This is what I'm not going to resort to calling people.
But yeah, man.
And this is why, and that, what's her name? Mashea Stock?
Yeah.
It's the same thing for him.
Yeah.
You wonder why you don't get support from black people.
Yeah, Mashea Stock, when the woman I showed from the won the Olympic gold, Jason Whitlock, was saying, why didn't she get support from the black community?
Well,
I was thinking, one, nobody really cares about wrestling.
And two,
I wouldn't say nobody cares about it. Wrestling is not as popular in the Olympics as like sprinting, the 100, obviously. But also we found out, well, she married to a white dude. That's going to have a certain effect on how you're perceived.
On some sectors of the black community, it's going to affect them.
Yeah. So then when you look at somebody else who wants to support, Alfonso Ribeiro explained why he doesn't get support from the black community because he's married to a white woman.
Well, first of all, Alfonso is not even African American. He's Dominican. He's Afro-Dominican. And then, first of all, we all knew you was going to marry a white woman on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We knew this shit. It was not a surprise to us.
I remember most people were saying like, bruh, what movies have you been in? Like, what is there to support?
You've been on America's Funniest Home Video. That was what you did after, I think, that was your next big thing after the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, it's like everybody was like,
let's pull up this nigga IMB, see what he been in.
Huh?
Did you look up and see what has he been in besides the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Oh, he was on Dancing with the Stars, I think. He won Dancing with the Stars, I believe.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. But this is what he had to say about not getting support from black people because of his wife.
I'm never going to be white, and I'm never going to be fully supported in the black house.
What?
When Carlton was attempting to pledge, and then there was a whole scene where, you know, he was basically being told that he wasn't black enough to pledge, and Carlton kind of gave this emotional speech.
Being black isn't what I'm trying to be, it's what I am.
Have you experienced any of that feeling personally throughout your life?
It still happens almost every day, unfortunately. I am in a mixed relationship, and I get things and looks and comments constantly, right? And, I find it very interesting because you see a lot of things on social media where people say things and people have positions and perspectives. And it's not easy to make that choice because you're not at home in any home. I'm never going to be white, and I'm never going to be fully supported in the black house. So I'm in my own little world with support from almost no one. To be in love with someone I've fallen in love with.
Mm-hmm.
How does that make sense? It doesn't. We all want to live in a world where everyone is accepted for being and loving and living the way they choose to live. I will support any person that wants to live in a world that they want to live in. I'll support a racist person to live in a world that they want to live in. They don't have to be around me, but if that's the world that they want to live in, they should have a right to live in that world. I live in a mixed world. I love in a mixed world. I live in a black world, and I love in that world, right? I feel everyone should be supported. I deal with it all the time. I laugh at the fact that
he lives in a black world or a mixed world, but he don't live in a white world.
You notice that?
He didn't say white world. Your wife is white, sir. So you should be a part of her world, which is what?
Maybe he feels he already gets support from the white world. I guess he mean entertainment wise. His audience is sure with America's whatever that show is. I'm pretty sure it's mainly white.
When you choose, and I'm gonna say choose, when you choose to put yourself in an interracial relationship, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
That I am a television, mainstream television host, been in the game forever, and I can purchase tickets to go to the BET Awards. So it is what it is. I'm not going to purchase the ticket, but I'm also not going to, I guess I'm doing it now by putting them on Front Street, but at the end of the day.
The BET make him pay for tickets? Damn.
Yeah, but he's not the only one. I'm sure that pays.
He's not.
He's not the only one that has to pay for tickets, and he's trying to say it's because his wife is white, and that's that's dirty.
So what he's saying is they want. Oh, is he saying they won't give him a ticket because they don't want to give his wife one for free? So they'll send him one, but they won't send his wife one. Is that what he's saying?
I don't believe that because it'd be white people at the BET Awards. But he's trying to imply because his wife is white,
they don't send him
BET don't give him free tickets. I guess you wanted to go the year that Will and Jada was hosting.
Oh, you think he's still holding on to that if that happened? So you think? Oh, that's
maybe he wanted to get up there and do that little dance with Will and him, and it's like Will, like you got to pay.
I'm trying to think. The year that Will and Jada hosted it, was he there?
No. If he was there, him and Will Smith would have went up on the stage and did that little dance thing.
Okay, they might have did.
They didn't.
Maybe we just don't remember.
Dude, he was not there at the BET Awards when Will Smith and Jada.
Let's say he wasn't there. You think he's holding on to that?
Maybe he holding on to that. Listen, some people got to pay. Some people don't got to pay. If you ain't performing, then your ass should have to pay. It's pretty simple.
He said budget cuts.
Budget cuts, motherfucker.
Like, if that's the view they take, then that's the view they take. I can't change their mind. All I can do is live my life and be me.
Be you,
and be the best version of me, and continue to love everybody, equally, and let it fall where it falls.
How do you? Okay, I'm so sick of hearing that. How do you love everybody equally? That's impossible.
Can't love everybody.
You're gonna love people more than others. Okay. According to him, then, if you have siblings, do you love anybody as much as you love your mom and dad? No. So it's not equal love. Hell, even amongst your parents, you love one or more. Siblings, cousins, you have favorite uncles.
I wouldn't necessarily love one another more. You have you just gravitate to that person more. You could love somebody equally, but you just have more of a relationship with one.
Let's cut the bullshit. If you had to choose between your favorite, let's say it's two friends of yours, and it's a situation where that you're in a dire situation, one gotta die, one gotta live. You're gonna choose the one you love more.
No, you're gonna choose the one you like more.
What?
Like and love is two different things, dude. You can love somebody equally, but like one person more.
Trevor, no.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Trevor, you're gonna choose the one you love more.
I love my mother and father the same. Did I gravitate more towards one more? Did I like one more? Yes.
So you love one more.
That's not love.
Travis,
one more.
Travis, stop the bullshit.
It's not bullshit.
It's loving somebody more. People don't like to admit it. You love people more. There's nothing wrong with it. We just got to talking about the scriptures. That was a favorite. And
just because you're a favorite don't mean that you love them more.
Yes, it do. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not equal. Nothing is equal. There's always the one that elevated more. People got to get out their feelings with that. You either love more or not.
Okay.
It doesn't mean you're not loved. It's just
that's your opinion.
Somebody else is loved more.
That's your opinion.
It's not an opinion. I think that's a fact.
Well, people in the comment section tell us how they feel.
I think
can you love two people equally, but like one more?
Unfortunately, even for your damn kids, you love one of your kids more. You love both of them. You love both of them, but you love one more.
So if you had to choose between one living and one dying, you're gonna choose?
What's that movie called? Sophie's Choice? There's a whole movie about that. Well, it's not about that, but Sophie's Choice, where the Jewish woman had to choose between her daughter and her son. At the Nazi, what's it called?
She chose her son.
She loved her son more.
No, the reason why she chose her son is because the son can continue to carry on the line. The daughter can't.
Which means she can't. She can have children.
She gonna have children with another man. When she has children with that other dude, it's gonna change the line though.
She wasn't thinking that deep, Travis. Because first off, Jewish people believe that it goes to the mother.
Huh? She was Jewish?
Yeah, it was a movie. It's a Jewish movie.
Oh, I thought they were German.
No, they were in Germany. Nazi.
Oh, yeah.
Holocaust.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. I don't know what I'm thinking.
So yeah, I just think you love people more. Speaking of love, let's talk about love songs. Now we ain't gonna talk about no love songs. R. Kelly. R. Kelly. R. Kelly, he creeping back into the media now. They ready to, I think they ready to end his saga, his storyline.
It's been going on for what, 20 years?
Yeah, about 20,
25.
No, right? I'm tripping. Yeah, 25, 26 years. Maybe 30. We finally almost at the end
of the Pied Piper's reign.
The Pied Piper's reign. Aaliyah has been attached to it. So R. Kelly's trial, at least his jury will be picked around, I think it's August 9th.
If y'all don't want R. Kelly to walk out of the courtroom, don't put no black women on that damn jury. I'm telling you. My body said me no.
He started singing. Let that boy go.
But my body, she gonna start shaking. Free that man.
The legs started shaking. But so they're gonna pick his jury. I can't wait to see that jury. I can't
don't put
wait
no
to
black
see.
woman on that jury.
I want to say it's gonna be majority black, or they're gonna do it like it normally is, majority white.
If it's white, he finished.
Oh, yeah,
toast. But if it's
his goose is cooked.
If it's 6 black women on that jury, somebody will get knocked off. They gonna say the witnesses just keep committing suicide.
So he got his trial coming up, and they said they're gonna use the marriage to Aaliyah as evidence.
How could he use for evidence?
That he was dealing with underage girls.
The mother and father had to sign off on it.
Like all of them did. All of them brought their daughters, their underage daughters,
pimping
to
their
him
daughter for pimping out their daughters
for money. It was for money.
And now they pimping out sons too.
Yep. A little boy came out, and they try to say, "Oh, now that the little boy's involved, people will care." It's like he's in jail because of the little girls. He went to trial because of the little girl who didn't want to testify because her mama probably told her,
"Don't testify."
We took the money. Well, I think she ended up doing it, but they took the money.
Yeah, they gonna always take the money.
That's why now they calling the money they took bribery. No, the parents brought the kid to him.
So
they are just as guilty as he is. He is guilty.
So what is it called when, like in Michael Jackson case, when he was, they settled for money? Is that bribery? When they settle out of court for money? For rape charges and all sorts of things?
It's funny you brought it up because the Michael Jackson thing just came out and they completely cleared him of any allegations that came against him.
So all of these cases where people have been raped, molested, and these people settle out of court for money, is that bribery?
That's what happened with R. Kelly. They brought the kids to him and he paid them, or quote unquote promised them a career, and they allowed to happen what happened.
They're literally using their kids as escorts.
Yep.
R. Kelly was renting out these kids.
R. Kelly go to jail. They should be in jail right there with him. They're just as guilty.
They're just as guilty.
Unfortunately, Aaliyah's legacy is forever tied to R. Kelly, whose sex trafficking trial begins Monday in Brooklyn. And we've learned that his illegal marriage to her will actually be used as evidence.
Like you said, the parents signed her over.
Upcoming trial, Aaliyah is referred to as Jane Doe number 1. By the way, all of the women are anonymous in the trial, all 6 of them. And as many of you know, R. Kelly married Aaliyah when she was just 15. He was 27. According to the marriage license filed in Illinois, they lied about her age, saying she was 18. And the real point.
Okay, what we gonna do about our grandparents who was 15 years old marrying? Our grandmother was 16 years old, and our grandfather was
26,
27 years old.
That's a touchy subject. It's a touchy one because it's like
even biblically,
we're not. We ain't doing it. Nope, not today.
Biblically,
we're not doing it today.
The woman was majority always younger than the man.
No. That's different between younger and underage. No, see, in America, the age of consent is
the law. Yes, we are law-abiding citizens, and I agree. Marry somebody within your age range,
and it is.
But we're just not gonna sit here and act like our grandparents wasn't.
Well, it was
in that same time, the same age as R. Kelly and Aaliyah, and they was having kids and getting married back then.
I don't know. It was different because they were getting married and having children for a reason.
I know it wasn't like
sharecroppers.
It wasn't just like a fetish,
exactly,
of having and doing these to these girls. But I'm just saying, 15 and 27 years old. This ain't the first time it happened.
Once again,
Elvis.
Once again, I'm not justifying.
No, we're not justifying.
No.
They can take it how they want to take it.
You take it how you. This is not my.
They can take it how they want to take it. I'm not agreeing with R. Kelly being with 15 and 16 years old. What I'm simply saying is, more than likely, your great grandfather and great grandmother was in the same age range, getting married and having kids.
Point here, the sticking point here is he also apparently, R. Kelly, worked with a government employee in Illinois to get a fake ID so the marriage could happen, paying a government employee to get the fake ID. And that's where the sticking point, I think, will come out and will be discussed within the trial. We know that he's facing multiple accusations, and the trial starts on Monday in terms of the very beginning stages, but then we're going to see testimony a little bit later in the month. This is happening out of New York in a U.S. court in New York. And, I think a lot of folks remember that hashtag Mute R. Kelly. We have sound, I believe, from the founder of that, because this was all over social media after, of course, we know that the
Man, didn't nobody mute no R. Kelly. People are still blasting his music. You go to his comments. Go to his a song by him on YouTube right now. People in the comment section saying, "I don't give a damn. I'm still listening to this song."
You can separate the music from the artist.
So yeah, the Aaliyah thing.
So they're saying that the parents had not signed over to him for him to marry her. He had somebody in Illinois create a fake ID in order for him to marry the late singer Aaliyah.
The story we heard was the parents allowed it.
The parents allowed it.
So I don't know.
So I hope that nothing don't come out that they lying.
Speaking of lies, now remember when Aaliyah, when the crash first happened, and the years afterwards, what was the narrative around what happened?
She was just wanting to get. She didn't care about how much stuff weighed, and she just wanted to get on a plane. She didn't care about that the plane something might happen to the plane due to the it being overweight.
So we were told she was too eager. She ignored all the warnings and just hopped on the plane and ignored it.
Yep. That's truth now.
A book was released, written by a guy whose mother was a taxi driver that drove them to the airport. He said it's not true. Aaliyah took sleeping pills, carried to plane before crash. Witness. So according to this dude,
they knocked her ass out.
Now he didn't tell it like that. Trevor just That ain't how he said it. According to a bombshell new book on her life, R&B singer and actress Aaliyah didn't want to board the flight that cost the rising star her life. After remaining silent for decades, an eyewitness that has alleged that the singer was given a sleeping pill and carried unconscious onto the suspect aircraft before her fatal 2001 crash in the Bahamas. The shocking allegation was dropped in a new biography, Baby Girl, better known as Aaliyah, by music journalist Kathleen Doley. She's a music journalist, so I guess that's why she used that title.
Baby Girl, better known as Aaliyah. Sorry.
They took her out of the van. She didn't even know she was getting boarded on the plane, stated Kingsley Russell, the 33, who was with Aaliyah.
33.
Yep. Full name Aaliyah Donna Houghton, which is a place in Louisiana. We found that out. Just before the fatal flight, the Daily Mail reported she went on. Then the 13-year-old Russell, whose family ran a taxi company in the Abaco Islands, was in a cab as his mom drove the 5-time Grammy winner and her team to the airport for their return flight to Miami.
He was 13 years old then, and now he's 33 now?
Yeah. 20 years.
13, 33?
He's 22. I mean, it's 20 years. The 22-year-old Aaliyah had just wrapped shooting a music video for her hit single Rock the Boat, and her team was eager to get back in the U.S. However, Aaliyah, who was an anxious flyer, allegedly had reservations about boarding the aircraft after learning that it was overweight. The pilot had reportedly explained that the aircraft will be too cumbersome with 8 passengers, including Aaliyah's 300-pound bodyguard,
as
well as their bags and cameras. The Romeo Must Die actress supposedly grew even more flustered when they arrived at the airport and spotted the small plane, claiming she had a headache. The Brooklyn native fell asleep in the cab while her team sorted out the mess, according to Russell's testimony. A little while later, the hip-hop crew returned to see what was amiss, whereupon Leah reiterated her concerns. Russell claimed that at this point, one of the team handed her loose rap singer a sleeping pill, causing her to fall into a deep sleep, after which they carried her unconscious Aaliyah into the plane. The vocalist's worst fears were realized just after takeoff. The small 2-engine Cessna failed to gain altitude and crashed about 200 feet from the end of the runway, killing Aaliyah and 8 members of her entourage. A subsequent autopsy revealed that Aaliyah had suffered extensive burns and severe head trauma, which had rendered her chances of survival unthinkable. It later emerged that the tiny aircraft had exceeded its allotted weight by several hundred pounds, the New York Times reported. In addition, the weight was improperly distributed, making the aircraft difficult to control while in the air. Meanwhile, the pilot had reportedly faked his license and was under the influence of alcohol and cocaine at the time of the accident. What the fuck? So hold on.
Sound like they had to get her out of here.
So not only was the plane overweight, the pilot had a fake license and he was drunk. I'm sorry, had alcohol in his system. What the heck?
How do you know he had alcohol in his system?
The toxicology report from 2002.
Oh, okay.
So wait. What the hell is going on? This is Aaliyah. Nobody vetted the pilot.
Mm-hmm. It was two things.
The revelation ran counter to reports at the time, which claimed that Aaliyah was insistent about boarding the flight. I remember when Aaliyah passed away, I was really upset. Landy told the Daily Beast. The story kept saying that she was adamant about getting on the plane. I was almost upset with her. Why did you want to get on that plane so badly? So obviously, that seems like it's not true. Are we surprised?
No.
At all?
Hell no. What in the world?
So that's not true. Apparently, she did not want to get on the plane. And they, I guess you could say they forced her onto the plane. So that's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
They finally put her music on streaming platforms, as you saw on Black News Channel. So I guess her family will be able to finally, I guess they got up a deal or something finally.
Or they waited till she got out of her contract or
maybe
something
like that. So now,
which is smart.
We'll see what they do with that. And it's time to start winding down a bit. Now I want to show you two funny videos I found. The first video is a dude. It's a real commercial of a black dude pushing vaccines, but he's not pushing the way you think he's pushing it. It's funny. Watch this.
Came to a screeching halt. You have to understand, I'm a hustler. I'm a legit entrepreneur. I sell things. I come in contact with people all the time. I have to stay safe. I didn't have a choice but to trust the vaccine. Because if you live the type of lifestyle that I live, you out here in these streets and you hustling, an entrepreneur like me, why not do it safely? So I want everybody to take this seriously. Take a shot at staying healthy. Get the vaccine.
That's a real commercial. You know how I know? Look at that. The skip ad right there. I guess it's on YouTube.
Who sponsored for him to?
This is in Arkansas.
He said he's a hustler.
And you hustling, an entrepreneur like
That's what they use a street dude to convince street dudes.
They use a drug dealer.
What he said was, yeah, you're right. I sell drugs. I sell things. He's a drug dealer telling drug dealers to get vaccinated.
Because you got to be able to move out here in these streets.
So that means Arkansas is promoting drug dealers. Look, anyway, anybody get vaccinated. Even you, the drug dealer, who
we know they low. We know they low and they dirty. They don't care. They had damn scrippers promoting. They be using scrippers for politics.
I'm trying to think. Is this as bad as that?
That means that ain't nobody getting no damn vaccine.
Yeah,
that's what that means.
So is this as bad as the stripper thing?
Oh, him promoting this?
Yeah, I don't think so. Because this is funny at the end. I don't think nobody gonna get that shit because he told him to. He got his bread off of this and he gonna go on by his day. Most people gonna laugh at this shit and keep it moving. He said, "I sell things." Like,
what you sell? Insurance.
I'm a hustler. I'm an entrepreneur. Sounds like a Cali nigga. That's where Cali get the accent from, I think. So that was funny. Now watch this right here. There was a cop, and this is why I'm a proponent of self-policing, or not self-policing. I'm a proponent of black people in their own neighborhoods
policing
themselves, because the energy is way different. I'm not saying it's not possible for a black cop to be, police brutality come from a black cop. As a matter of fact, we know it do happen. But I'm talking about the escalation is less likely to happen because they understand when you're in a certain neighborhood that they don't mean when somebody get loud and walk up on you and touch you that they want to fight you. They might just be having a conversation with you.
Because black people are loud. They be like,
like my uncle, he might come to you and grab your arm. They don't mean he mad or angry with you. He just animated. He's just physical. They touch.
Black people just are animated. We just get loud for no reason. Sometimes the video just get loud for no reason. Just come out. You know.
So let me show you this funny video of these cops roasting with these dudes in the middle of the damn street. Then they were getting it in though.
Look at the white people.
Just when I thought they were done, they moved on to the next cop.
They jumped.
Just when I thought they were done, they moved on to the next cop. So they trying to roast the cops, but they ended up getting roasted themselves.
Yeah, the cops was roasting their ass back. They ain't go good for them. So yeah, that was funny to me. And I am.
That's what we do. We roast people.
I'm a strong proponent because that could have went left with certain other cops.
It wouldn't have happened with the cops.
Yeah,
they would have felt like all these black dudes approaching them. Hey, back up, buddy.
He's like,
put your hands up. Put your hands up where I can see him.
I ain't even talking to no nigga with no shell toes.
You got any warrants?
Oh yeah, can I see your ID?
Can I see your ID, sir?
Your vaccination ID. But yeah, man. I think this is a long enough episode. We try to get it out today, but Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I had some technicalities before the video started.
Calling me unorganized.
They've been working me like a damn Hebrew slave for the past week.
Oh, damn, Hebrew slave, that's a whole different level. Egypt, we're building them.
Jesus.
But yeah,
it's getting tough out here. It's in all seriousness.
Yeah.
Shit hitting the fan quick, rapidly, and fast.
They're making decisions gonna have to be made, you know. So
yeah, decisions are gonna have to be made. If you don't have food and supplies, I would tell you to go get some food, stock up on water. Hell, I got a kit. Or if you got to be on the run type shit, because it's about to get serious out here.
Survival, baby. But anyway, man, that is episode 18. I said it's going to be a long episode. I don't know if it reached the number I said it would reach. We'll see. But anyway, man, I hope you enjoy the show. Hope you appreciate. We appreciate the support. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification button. Please comment on certain things about the video you agree or disagree with.
Or if anything you want us to talk about in the comment sections, be sure to leave the link in the comment section.
Yeah, you could definitely do that. But yeah, man, y'all be safe in these trying times. All praise to the Most High, and peace, man.